this is game number 1 in a best-of-7 series. Usually best-of-5, but this is a qualification round. So we're going to play best-of-7. It's going to be much closer. Spawning in the south of the map, in the color blue, we do indeed have Wickedcossack. Again, playing as the Germans. Both players doing that. Is a 200 wood start, so trading posts could be something the players consider here, and we'll see if they elect to do that. Looks like Cossack actually just going to not go for the middle right away, instead just going to pop down that trading post here, and same for Mitoe as well. Often we see players go for those goats in the middle. Sometimes if they want to get a trading post, they'll go to the middle with their explorer, get the goats, and then build one in the middle, but both players favoring that more defensive trading post that's less risky, and that makes a lot of sense in this high-level game where people tend to take less risks in tournaments. GLHF, absolutely. In the north of the map, in the color teal or cyan, whatever it is, we do indeed have Mitoe again going for a trading post. So both players are going to be chopping for wood here, and both trading posts are now up, and we'll start seeing that age 1 action right about now.
Yep, and here's the best treasure. There's one of them only.
85 wood. Only one wood treasure on the map, you're saying?
Only one big one. And then you have this one here and this one. 2 decent treasures as well.
Okay, but that's like a hot point of contention. So for the benefit of the YouTube viewer, I am joined by the one and only Soldier, who will also be playing a qualification match against Dairoga, right?
Yep.
So Soldier, a very strong player, but casting with me today. Looks like, though, 80 food, Mitoe going to pick that up. So he's got the first start, so to speak. He went straight to the middle after he built his TP, but Cossack took a sort of less direct route to the middle. He went around to the bottom there, perhaps doesn't want to get involved in contention, but hasn't really hunted for the goats. What do you think of going down on the bottom there?
That was, I mean, he got Duber, or who was that, free tag? Okay.
Free tag, yeah.
And that's gonna help him pick up this wood treasure. So actually, well, they're both pretty even. You know, early on, the food helps Mitoe age up a little bit easier.
Does he get the hand combat though? Looks like, yeah, he's going to get into melee combat there, and has slightly more hit points and has fry tag as well, although doesn't want fry tag involved since he's only got 75 HP. But this is really quite nice for Cossack.
That's actually really interesting. I actually like that decision to not use the pet monkey for combat, but to go around and steal some goats like he's doing now.
Yeah. Looks like Mitoe will get another goat here. He's going to try and use the goat to break the snare. You have to sort of do both things at the same time. You've got to put the goat between you and your explorer, and also attack them in melee mode at the same time, so that you snare them whilst the goat is in between you. And it looks like he's gonna really try and set that up perfectly. And I think he's done it. Goat looks like the explorer is free. Yeah. Mitoe is gonna get away there. That was really, really nice for him. Yeah,
I don't think he was too concerned about it. He was more so getting ready to switch up his eco because he is aging now, moving all the settler wagons to wood and starting to get the eco set up to build a market.
He's going to find fry tag, but is going to go into melee combat versus that, try and do some damage. But meanwhile, Wickedcossack is going to pick up all the big treasures.
150 wood, all from treasures. He's not building a market yet. Okay, there it is. Same time, basically. Yeah,
market's coming down in transition to be expected here. Want to get hunting dogs and set up for steel traps later on. But Mitoe got, I think, quite a lead, actually, in, despite, I think, Cossack having a stronger age 1, he got the macaque, which is really nice for hoovering up those goats, and that's going to be reflected in the all units here. Actually, having said, wow, Mitoe got 5 goats. That's quite impressive, despite what happened, being snared in combat and stuff like that.
With Cossack having the pet monkey, he's gonna pick up another one here though.
Yes.
What's important to watch for right now is kind of the amount of wood they gather, which is you can kind of pick up off that. So Mitoe's got 83 wood, which is kind of bizarre. Like, it's not enough for steel traps. It kind of makes me feel like he might send 700 wood first. But Cossack has gathered 136, so he's definitely got the amount for steel traps.
Yeah, I think he will. I think you're right about the 700 wood. He's going to spend some of that wood on the hunting dogs there, and 33 wood or whatever it is more or less 25 wood, which is that random extra bit of wood you need to get the steel traps. So he could be sending 700 wood first and using that to get it.
Sorry to cut you off, but Mitoe is definitely sending 700 wood as he's only over.
Yeah, and building a trading post in the center as well. If you're spending that early wood on a TP, you're going to be sending 700 wood first because you need the wood for houses. So, but he's going to be popped. This barracks will go down, but he's not going to be able to train any units from it because he's got 23 out of 20 population here, which could be an issue. But first shipment comes out. There it is, 700 wood. 2 Uhlans going to join him. And it's not going to be long before that house goes down, especially with a settler wagon building it, and then that barracks can build some units. But looks like Wicked Cossack, you're going to go with that perhaps more standard 3 settler wagons. That's come out here. Looks like we're going to chase down Freitag with the Uhlans there. And both players now getting steel traps. So Mitoe deviating slightly, getting 2 trading posts, starting with 700 wood, and going to get his 3 settler wagons a bit later on. But Cossack, let's take a look at units in queue. He's going to have some Uhlans queued up. Not quite yet, but unless they're already out, doesn't look like it.
No, he's I think he's doing the 700 wood, kind of naked FF. Or, no, he's sending 700 coin.
Ah,
it should be on the way, actually.
It's a ghost stable, then.
I didn't catch this. Did this second trade post, was that in transition or was that after the 400 wood from Egypt?
It was with the 400 wood. And then
he
built a barracks and a trading post with the 400 wood.
You notice these 3 dops come out right here. But he did have resources to make more. Oh, I don't know if he was popped or if that was a purpose 3 only. Like, he only wants to make 3 and then get up to age 3 pretty quick.
Yeah, I think he had the population, so... I'm going to assume that he's intentionally built 3 just for a little bit of extra siege. They're not like overly useful once you get up to Fortress Age, which I'm sure is where Mitoe wants to get to. So here, just going to use them for a bit of extra damage. Here, Cossack, and it's going to be really strong against what Wicked Cossack's doing. He's not trained any Hussars, or pardon me, Cossacks, so not going to be able to stop these units from just tearing down this market.
It's pretty nice to get the market down, especially when you're Germany, and you don't send a 700 wood shipment. To get your housing space and to not have a market to buy for wood very quickly is it's actually kind of a pain. Yeah.
The market is always just so helpful. You can, especially early on when buying wood is actually still quite cost effective and you're not really losing any villager seconds. And yeah, he's not going to be able to quickly buy houses to get them up. You're absolutely right. And this is going to be made even harder by sieging down this extra house. And it looks like, 5 more doppels. I guess Mitoe has identified that Cossack's not trained any units and just thinks, all right, then I'll take advantage of that.
This is actually really interesting. Mitoe went 2 settler wagons after 3 settler wagons, and this is he's not going to be up for quite a while. Wicked Cossack's going to have basically the complete opposite build order, trying to do like a pace of play build, where he's going to try to get a bunch of while Mitoe is stuck in age 2, but Mitoe's kind of getting close to aging up. He might be sending 700 coin right now. I'm not sure.
He's got more Doppelsudners in queue. He's cancelled them.
Oh, wow. No, I think 3 just popped out. It said plus 60 XP, so I think he made 3 more.
3 more. Okay, that's a lot of dops here. So staying, I think Mitoe committed to a bit more of an age 2. He has sent 700 coins. So actually, I think he just thought, I have the resources spare to train 3 more dops, which is going to be helpful for defending, and I can still get on up to the next age. So it's not like they've affected his age up time. It's just a few extra units to make sure everything goes smoothly here. But Cossack now coming in. He's trained some war wagons and shipped 3 war wagons as well, so for a respectable war wagon mass. But if the Doppelsudden, there's no skirmishes here, so if the Dops can get up close, they're going to do really, really well. Minutemen being called here.
This is see, this is what I mean by the pace of play build by Wicked Cossack, where he tries to have this age 3 units, but really it hasn't done basically anything. Yeah,
the Minutemen have definitely repelled it for the time being. That's for sure.
I feel like Mitoe is going to go for like a DOP/skirm composition, which can be pretty good. But it needs time to get that skirmisher count up.
Yeah.
The war wagons.
But I think he's going to be okay to do it, right? Like, the war wagons, they came in, they didn't really do anything. They just forced the Minutemen. I suppose that's one thing. But they haven't killed any units, they haven't killed any villagers, and they've really done not very much damage to that barracks at all. So it looks like they've given up on that, and instead he's going to go for the mid-map trading post and sort of siege that down, which is free damage that he can do, as opposed to being in his opponent's base there. Mitoe now up to the next age, and it looks like he's got 11 vills on wood, and he's going to use that wood to drop down a stable, which he'll need, but I'm also expecting him to keep those vills on wood to get the veteran Doppelsodner upgrade in queue. And skirmish is now coming out, and we can fully expect 8 skirms, right, to follow up to your point.
I want to, there's a 8 skirm shipment. I want to point out that Wickedcossack had over 1,000 gold. He spent it, so one of 2 on the way, either Black Riders or Jaegers. So Mitoe is catching basically every raid.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
That's really nice. Mitoe on point. I think Mitoe a little bit tired due to the circumstances that caused this game to be late, but it is happening anyway. But Mitoe's still on form, catching the raids there, and he's kept all those Doppels alive, and that's going to be really strong for him. But Jaegers, those could be the answers, right? If he's got a ton of infantry, ship the Jaegers, which is what Wickedcossack's done. Very, very strong skirmisher unit.
Yeah, this is... See, I like Mitoe's composition here. It's really like Snow kind of play this way in tournament games, where you go skirm dop, and really you can't even... The opponent can't really touch your skirmishers if you have enough dops and some Ullans, but Jaegers is really kind of throws this plan like a little curveball. How do you deal with this? But Mitoe is gathering just almost 1,000 coin right now. Ready though, so yeah. I think he just ran out of a mine. Yeah, he's at 900 coin right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit awkward. He could sell a bit of food if he wants to queue up, say, a mercenary shipment, which seems kind of like what he wants to do. He's actually just going to wait to get to the mine, and I know he's got it. There it is. So Mitoe has just sent a mercenary shipment, probably Jaegers as well, just to keep up with the skirmisher mass of Wickedcossack. But both players being very passive here. No one wants to take a fight just yet. We're gonna be very slow and take our time, as we often see in tournament games. Everyone being very careful. You don't want to just jam your units in there. But Cossack now coming forwards, and the later, I think Mitoe going to be pleased with any time he can get, because he's sort of just waiting for his Jaeger shipment to arrive. Yeah, and Mitoe's 2 settler wagon shipment is pretty much the difference in economy at this point. So he's okay to just wait around. A couple of vills do go down with that poke. See, this is going to be, oh, man, and this is like all German mirrors. It's going to be so important. Deciding factor in this game is pretty much going to be micro and unit control, because these dops are so important. They can wreck cav, but they have to be controlled really well. Yeah, and they're like, they die very quickly to skirmishes. Like, just your micro and unit control has to be on point for sure. But looks like the Jaegers have now arrived, and with that, Cossack now Mitoe now feels confident to push forward. Looks like the Ulan going to try and get forward into position, and just baiting the units back there. That was really nice. This is looking good for Mitoe, I think. He just can't lose those Doppelsoldners. I really like what he did with the cav there. He just got far forward enough to bait everything to turn around as if it was going to be engaged, but and he's trying it. He's just keeping very close attention to the units here. Skirm coming forward, that's going to get executed. And I think Mitoe picking up quite a few units for free here as Cossack retreats back to his base. Cossack going to be waiting on his next unit shipment. That's why he doesn't want to engage just yet. Vil coming forward is going to get back. And a couple of batches of units as well. Oh, here's a big fight right here. Ooh, that's a lot of Ulan. Ulan coming forward. The Dops, though... where are the Dops? Oh, they're in the fight there. They are on the front then. They're doing that's where they need to be. They're doing lots of damage to the Ulans there, and are going to clean them all up very, very quickly. And they're in a good position to move forward onto the war wagon as well. And Mitoe coming out incredibly far ahead in that fight. The Dops really destroying all of the Ulan there. But big batch of Dops coming, or was that? No, that's pardon me, not Dops. 8 Ulan shipments, and now there's only 2 Dops left. They're going to be picked off very quickly by these skirmishers. and perhaps he can get some counter damage done. But actually, 4 more Ulans entering the fray, and that's what he's going to need to keep his skirms alive here.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Mitoe, I'd say.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Cossack with that big batch of Ulans, it looked really good for him for a moment, but just enough Ulan coming in and just enough Dops left to defend it off. Mine runs out there for Wicked Cossack, trading off the Cav, and now it's just a skirmisher war, but Mitoe coming out decisively ahead in the skirmisher war, and Cossack going to call it GG, and that's a pretty decisive victory from Mitoe. Yeah. And this is what we expect from German mirrors. They're usually very, very explosive, and they don't often last all that long. You have one player coming out, really, really far ahead, and that's just sort of the nature of the German mirror, perhaps. But Mitoe can no longer now play Germany for the rest of the series.
Yeah. And I was pointing out before that fight that Mitoe had left one Dop over by his gold mine, and actually that Dop is chasing and all. And I thought there were going to be a little more raids in this. Because it was a German mirror, but that was a good little thing for Mitoe to do to kind of help protect his mines. Not that it had any impact in this, but it could have. Yeah,
that's a really nice... Well, you can see there's an Ulan standing on top of his villages, and the Dop is chasing it, so it really illustrates your point quite well. I kind of like that. Yeah, but that's going to be...
If you take a look at the resource chart, you can see Mitoe significantly ahead pretty much the whole game after Cossack hit H3.
Yeah,
that's really because of those 2 settler wagons that he was able to squeeze in.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. And also he sent 700 wood as well, so in terms of that's going to push it up slightly higher. But yeah, really the extra eco is the important thing there. But a nice victory to Mitoe. He's going to be pleased with that, getting ahead in game 1. And I really have a soft spot for German mirrors on Kamchatka. It just brings me back to those days of I remember Blackstar versus Ryan.
Oh, HCL.
And that was on Kamchatka, the German mirror there. It's just kind of lovely to be casting German mirrors on Kamchatka again. It's a bit of nostalgia. But let's head on out into game number 2. Mitoe's picked up that first victory here in this best of 7 series. Just to reiterate, this is a qualification round. Whoever wins this series will qualify for the event. The loser will drop down to the loser's bracket, where there is still 4 positions to qualify in that loser's bracket. We'll paste the link in the chat if you'd like to have a look, but do be careful, as they may ruin the outcomes of some series if you are intending to watch them. But yes, this is a big game for both players. Both players want to come to the LAN as players, and this is a very good way to do it. But we are now looking at the lobby of game number 2, and Mitoe has to pick first. Let's take a look.
Looks like I think we're already decided on a matchup, actually, pretty quickly. He's locked in on China, and Wicked Cossack already greened up with an India counter pick.
Yeah, let's take a look at the lobby, and we can see Mitoe has selected China, and he picked that first, and Wicked Cossack, this is no surprise, right? That's his strongest civ.
Yeah, that is one thing I think that I know about Wicked Cossack, is that he's an India player.
He is definitely an India player, and he's very strong as India. But I don't know. This is a peculiar matchup. How often do you see China versus India? I mean, you don't see all that much of China. I mean, Mitoe is the one representing them most of the time nowadays. Mitoe very strong with China. But speaking to Mitoe, I think Cossack just waiting for that lag spike to pass.
Yeah.
But
interesting in that, I was just going to mention something about that first game. What was really, I think, where it was decided is Wicked Cossack had that fast H3 where he tried to pressure early on in H3, and Mitoe was able to defend, or maybe more it was just Wicked Cossack didn't want to commit close to the TC. The Minutemen popped out and helped push the War Wagons back, and I think that was pretty much the biggest part of the game and how it ended up getting decided.
Yeah, he didn't seem like those War Wagons got a lot done. The Minutemen, they did a surprising amount of damage to War Wagons, actually, considering such a tanky unit. I guess they have melee resist, that's kind of why.
Men do have a pretty high attack. I think it's like 25 or something, and you get 6 of them, 1 volley, and that's a pretty decent amount to a unit that doesn't have any range resistance.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But it looks like Mitoe is just going to check his deck. He's now ready. That's why he was taking his time. Probably just wants to make sure all the cards are available, but has now decided and has greened in. So it looks like we're ready to go into Baja, California. I've been speaking to Mitoe recently. He likes China a lot, and it's a civ that he wants to be good with. I think Japan and India civs he wants to play a lot as well. I think Kaiser Klein is someone that he might be a little bit afraid of in the tournament, and Kaiser not so good against or much better with Euro civs, right? And that might be why Mitoe is playing a lot of China and those other civs as well. But
that is actually a really good point. I didn't realize that. And yeah, I know Kaiser doesn't really like the TAD civs, or probably even the War Chief civs too.
Yeah. He's better with those. They've been out a bit longer, but yeah, that's absolutely true. But Mitoe, he likes China as well. It's a civ he's been playing for years, and it's a civ that he says has sort of no unwinnable matchups and sort of no terrible matchups either. So Mitoe really likes China, and that sort of, if that's true, makes a lot of sense why he picked it first, because he does have to pick first since he won the previous game. But ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 2 in a best-of-7 series between Mitoe and Wickedcossack. The winner of this series will qualify for the LAN tournament here at the Escape Studio in July. Spawning on the left-hand side of the map in the color teal, we do have Mitoe here, playing as China. They have the fixed crate starts as usual, 300 wood, and the China Explorer, by the looks of it, heading on over to the trading post on the right to lock that down immediately. Next to his Explorer, 20 coin and 70 XP as well. Looks like Wickedcossack coming up to the top with his Indian Monk. Not going to pick that 20 coin up, but because his opponent stole it. But that's going to delay the trading post, I think, a little bit. Mitoe probably going to be able to get that. Actually, that's really clever. Mitoe, Soldier, he split those two. He split those 2 monks, right? One on the bottom, one on the top, just to make sure he could get a trading post.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was actually thinking Mitoe picked up that treasure because he knew he had time to build the trading post before this cart got over there. So I thought that was a good decision by him. But yeah, that splitting the Indian monks to make sure he gets the TP built is a really, really nice move.
Yeah. Often you see the India monks staying together just because or they scout separately, but they kind of want to be nearby each other just in case you find a big treasure, and you need both the monks to go for it. But Baja, California, it's probably fine just to be splitting up simply because there's lots of sort of smaller treasures with only 2 or 3 coyotes, and an elephant, 1 monk can sort of handle that nicely, and that seems to be what we're getting. But Wickedcossack going to get the first pass here, and we'll see his XP sort of jump up. He's already got a shipment in queue.
Take a look at Cossack's deck.
Okay, let's take a look.
What? Interesting.
Lots of elephants. That is very interesting. So we've got tame elephants, minus 10% to cost and train points, as well as elephant combat, hit points and action damages by 15%. And lots of fishing potential in here as well. 2 Vels, a frigate, some warship upgrades. We even got East Indiaman for the dock and minus 20 wood to fishing boats. And lots, but yeah, there's a few elephant upgrades in here. So clearly, Cossack has something planned with elephants, perhaps against China. Maybe this is a matchup he's been practicing and preparing for. Maybe he's been looking to see the India versus China matchup, and he's gotten it right here. So I'm looking forward to seeing something. But East Indiaman does come in, and the dock rickshaw gonna head not on his side of the water, but to the bottom. But you're right, there's an explorer there. He's gonna see it.
Yeah, this could be really bad for India. Yeah,
but
he's going to see it.
He's going to see it for sure. I thought maybe the trading post would have scouted the China monk there, and he could have moved the dock. Yeah. But actually, Mitoe is going to see that. But either way, it's going to be on the bottom of the map here. I think Cossack was hoping to have it in secret so that when China scouts the water on his side, he thinks, okay, India isn't on the water. That's good for me. But little would he know it's actually on the south. But it's going to be spotted and it's going to be there. So not so secret.
There's a little bit of a mind game. Maybe it's I don't know what you want to call it exactly, but did not attack that dock. So, like, does he really know that it went by him, or does he not? I don't. You don't really know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Mitoe probably did spot it, just because Mitoe, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Very strong player, I expect him to see it. But yeah, he didn't turn around and attack the dock wagon, right? Because you could do some serious damage to it and certainly delay it from getting to the coast because it would be snared. But a second dock on the other side, so Cossack really going full water here.
I was gonna say that there's a possibility of oh man, these cards
Fish
I was
market.
gonna mention a game that you casted, an old one, Mongo versus H2O, where H2O did the
remember it.
Howda.
I remember it well.
And all these elephant cards made me think of that, but now I don't know. Looks like I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting.
It could be something similar, but with fish.
I don't think with these first two cards, I don't think that's because that's kind of like a timing. Like you want to get a couple Howda out before India really has H3 mass, and that's kind of I think that's out of the possibilities now with these two docks that he invested into.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, but he could still be going for something with elephants later on, just not that timing. That's gonna be okay. So yeah, we're not gonna see like Howdahs being healed up by surgeons like we saw with Mongo 10 versus H2O. All those, I think that was maybe 2 years ago now. H2O bringing that strat to the metagame, but Mitoe, yeah, he's gonna go up, but with no villagers on the Summer Palace, so it's gonna take quite a while to construct itself.
I can tell you right now, based on this number of villagers on the coin mine, that he is going to send 700 wood for his FF and skip the 700 coin.
Yeah, and that plays into Wickedcossack's hands, I think. So Mitoe doing this build where he ekes out an extra shipment. Like, he's no hurry to be an Age 2. He doesn't expect India to be aggressive by the looks of it.
What in the... Look at this third card.
Hold up. Is Wickedcossack still Age 1? He's still Age 1. What the...
Yeah. Well, look at his last card.
He's still Age 1, and Mitoe's wondering where the Wonder is too. He's like, where's the Wonder? He's looking for it. He's expecting him to be aging, but Cossack has not placed his age up yet. He's just staying Age 1. He's just going full boom. Oh my goodness, how did we not see it? This is so unusual. Well,
so it does build, it said, what, 25% faster, or was it 50%, 25% faster, and it's 50% more HP. And Cossack has 32 build pop right now. It's like the weirdest build.
Yeah, but like I was saying, it plays into his hands so well because Mitoe's going to do this build where it's very greedy and you skip the 700 gold just so you can have an extra shipment in the Fortress Age. You gather instead all the resources you need to age up, and you go to the Colonial very slowly, and you can go to the Fortress Age, fairly slowly too, but ultimately it's a much stronger timing, but it takes a lot longer. And Cossack, with this extra time, has delayed his Age 1 considerably, and look at this, he's so far ahead in economic unit population with his two docks.
6 minutes and 30 seconds, and he's like halfway
he's not
up.
aged. Yeah. What on earth is going on?
It's interesting because he is stacking one shipment, but he's used, like, usually if you age this late, you're like completely missing out on Age 2 shipments that you, like, the value, you're just sitting on shipments, but he has sent a couple and still has one that he's going to be able to send as soon as he hits H2, but I'm sure he's tested this, but it just seems like he's probably going to go fast to H3, but it's going to be kind of slow, I think. I don't.
Yeah, advanced wonders just to sort of get him up a bit faster. That explains the trading post, right? He's just sort of like sending 3 Age 1 cards. Advanced wonders. That sounds like an AZAMP kind of card, but actually using it here to help him get up faster and improve his Fortress Age time later on as well, and make the wonders cheaper. I believe that's what it does.
This forward village is going to help the pace, but imagine, like, Mitoe's been playing a lot of H2 China lately. Imagine if he actually
right.
Cossack aged at 7 minutes. H2, what?
Yeah.
Oh man,
this has worked out so well. What if Mitoe had decided to do, something colonial? But then it's a tournament game. I think Mitoe likes to stick to his standard builds that he knows are strong. Couple of I believe these are Funes.
This feels kind of like a Virginia company type of build, like, because China seems to struggle versus like a VC build where the opponent has a lot of eco, and this is kind of like the same situation. Because Wickedcossack has so many villagers right now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any military.
No military just yet, but he has got the Wonder in queue. And just to clarify what Advanced Wonders does, it's 25% train time, so they build quicker, and they have 50% more hit points as well. So that Agra Fort has an exceptional amount of HP, and is going to be going up with the Charminar Gates as well for the Mansabars. I believe you also get a Mahout.
Oh, this is interesting. German consulate. I what that does.
It gives you trickles that you can research in there.
Okay. Let's see what he text completed. Did he do anything there? Banner army cost reduction.
Yeah.
And he got the food trickle too.
There's a wood and coin trickle in there too as well. He's going to get the wood trickle. So cheaper banner armies. He's identified then that Cossack's doing something very sort of slow and greedy. So he's going to do something equally slow and greedy.
Man,
2 caravels coming out for India.
One of these 2 players knows how the late game in this matchup plays out, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. This is
I know
really...
Urumi are pretty good for China, but
Caravel's coming forwards. Is going to take out the first war junk, and is going to try and get his second war junk to safety. Looks like Cossack is Mitoe going to chase that Caravel down with his second war junk. It's got full HP. He just needs to chase it all the way down to the bottom of the ocean where there's no more place to run, and he can finish it off before it gets healed up at the dock. But the fishing boat's going to go into the dock. He needs to take this
actually pretty important.
Yeah, if he can move it around enough, he won't be able to get a shot on there. And
it's safe, and
almost tried to
safe on that side.
Gonna save his war junk, and I almost could see a dock coming down from Mitoe now just to sort of get some healing potential on there. But Mitoe gonna go up to the industrial age. He's gonna go down with the Confucius Academy.
1,000 coin from Cossack is about to hit the floor somewhere, probably by the TC.
Yeah, 1,000 coin is here. Where is?
Within about 5 seconds or so.
Oh, that's Mitoe. He sent 1,000 coin to age. Okay.
Yeah, should be coming for India too.
So you're expecting him to age up as well. Does manage to pick off the second war junk. Looks like this caravel chased him up the coast, and he decided that he could try and kill the war junk because it'd taken a lot of damage. So it looks like Mitoe tried to trade off his war junk to kill this caravel. But Cossack coming out decisively ahead here on the water. He's going to repair his caravel next to the dock just by standing next to it. Looks like, though, China has got a few units down now.
Oh,
and is going to use them to take out the trading post. Okay,
he is not age. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Hot damn. 2 Howder, 3 Mahouts.
Before any fight starts up, I want to point out that Mitoe is actually overpopped 60 out of 50. I want to mention that because that's really wise to not overmake the villages and really use every resource into getting to industrial as fast as you can, getting whatever upgrades he wants. But here we go. We're about to have a little bit of a fight.
Yeah, these pikes just going to get torn apart. The Mahouts have so much, and a stomp there as well. Sure, the pikes do damage versus the Mahouts, bonus damage, but elephants are just no match for a dude on foot.
Yeah. Now, I guess it's Mitoe's counter. He does have Manchu in the deck. Maybe that's going to be an option, but he is an H4 too, so...
I really like... they actually have very even economic unit populations at the moment, despite... I suppose, with the porcelain tower generating 4 wood per second, that's helping a lot. And he's also got all those trickles in from the German consulate, which is being taken into account on this graph. So you think that, the wood trickle's 2.5 vils, the gold is 2 vils, and the food is 2 vils. So that's 246.5 villages right there. So Mitoe able to keep up with the fish boom, and he did kill a few fishing boats, right? He did do some damage on the water, but ultimately the 2 caravels sort of locked that down now. So it didn't quite take control of the water with them, but did do some damage to the fishing boats. But this is perhaps the more interesting portion of the game coming in.
Elephant combat's in.
Mahouts and Discipline Howder will now have 15% attack and hit points. But Mitoe, lots of Changdao, and now pushing out.
Stick with that. He's going to stick with that combination of units, I think, for the entire game. And you just have so many Changdao. Sometimes it's hard to just take any fights as the opponent.
And they're honored Changdao as well.
Yeah.
His honored upgrades are in.
Oh, Jesus, so many units, like 17 skirm.
Yeah. It's like 17 Akabusi. Yeah, it's quite a good shipment.
You look at like the actual unit count. There's like 10 elephants versus like 65 units for China. I don't think this is going to be enough for India to hold up. I'm not sure. He's getting his consulate up, maybe to get Brit consulate even more HP on the elephants. To hold this.
Yeah, consulate going down, but it takes it takes a while to build there. I think it will be up in time, and he'll get his upgrade in. But yeah, that wall destroying the whole wall using the spread tactic, where all adjacent walls have the same HP as the wall being targeted. Managed to take them all out, clear up a lot of room. I really like that, and now taking out the houses.
And here we go. Is the Brit consulate going to come in time, though?
Yeah, switch on over to TBR and see. Not being researched currently, but lots of Changdao going to take down all of these, but they have got tons of hit points here, so they're actually doing surprisingly well. Yeah, I'm amazed, and the Howd are all in the back here doing 81 damage. He's cleaned it up. The Mahouts in Mansa are really strong, but more Changdao coming in.
If he has more Howda on the way, and Brit consulate is in. Oh, that one Howda is going to wreck about 15 skirms here. There's actually two Howda. Wow, ooh, man.
Wow, India doing exceptionally. That was really, really impressive. I was not expecting this from when we clicked into this matchup, but yeah, Wickedcossack prepared a very funky build. I like it. Town center going down for India. So this victory that he's just won, he's now going to... It means he can take an opportunity to do something a bit slower because he came out ahead there. And he's going to use that small advantage of winning that fight to build a town center and just get even further ahead. Yurumi coming in.
The unit composition here for India is...
scary. I think that's one way to put it.
It's like the India death ball, not the China death ball, but the India.
Mahouts, Howda. Yeah. There's so really few units here in actual numbers, but they're so strong.
And I'm surprised Wicked doesn't make more fishing boats. He has a lot of wood for most of the game.
Yeah, he could have a few more, but there's only limited numbers of fish in the ocean, right? And then the wood spent is kind of wasted if you sort of gather up all the fish, and there's not too many spots to gather on the... So that could be something he's considering. Long lines now coming in, though.
Oh, man.
What's in the monastery? We've got Fusilier and Barbary Cuirasses, both of which are a bit rubbish. So I don't think you'll want to train either of those.
He's got Fusilier in Q and Mahout. It's basically like a on steroids must-cuss composition he's going for right now.
Yeah. But he's not going to get that batch out in time. There's absolutely no way.
Four Mahout in queue right now.
What? Oh, dear.
The Yurumi are going to wreck the Changdao. I think India's going to smash this fight. It's going to be...
Yeah. The Yurumi are just insane. They're going to clean up these so hard, these Changdao. You're absolutely right. Whilst there's a few more Mahout on the top now, attacking the skirmishes. And, yeah, look at all of the dead units. And that Crow going to go down too. And I think Mitoe caught off guard by this surprise build order.
Yeah, so it turns out elephants are good versus China.
Yeah, we've established that over a few different games now.
There's no way this army's ever dying. There's no way.
Yeah, with each of these units, there's 1,300 hit points, and you have to focus them down. I'd love to see this 42 HP Mahout be sent back. Too late, it's dead. But just have it chill at home near the monks. Once they come back to life, you can... Or if you bring it back to life.
I think the only thing that would actually help Mitoe late game with this composition is Old Han, but he doesn't have that card.
Yeah, he's got Western Reforms, but not Old Han. So that's no good. But the Mahout's almost dead now, but the Yurumi, there's a few of them left, and I think they'll be able to clean up those Changdao. One Mahout left, and that'll be enough, though, to do enough damage to the Arquebusier. More Arquebusier and Changdao. And another batch. It looks like, though, Mitoe... Scores are quite even. India's been winning all these trades. And that's kind of... But Mitoe's still in this. But India has, considerably more economy, right?
11 Changdao, that's okay.
That's a Fortress Age shipment.
India's still age 3. But I think they're going to age up soon.
Yeah, looks like Cossack, he's got 1,000 gold, 1,500 food, and yeah, he's looking to get the age up down. He spent quite a lot on something. He's got 4 Howder and 2 Mahouts in queue. So that's where all the resources went.
Tame elephants, which reduces the cost of all elephants.
So that just came in. That's why he was stacking resources. Because
and
he was waiting for...
Yeah. They train faster and cost less, yeah.
He was waiting for that card to come in to make them cheaper, and then he queued them up. Makes a lot of sense.
You know, Mitoe's actually dealt with this, like, fairly well. Like, he got his mass back up, and decent amount of Qingdao again.
But he is 20 vils behind, but I guess that's okay when you have guard units, essentially, and your opponent doesn't. So that seems reasonable to be at a vil deficit.
This is not good, though.
Yeah, big raid. That's just, well, not even a raid, it's just a position of his army. This is where he's at. This is where he's attacking. and the units
Mitoe has to go, like, all the way over here for gold now. That's pretty far.
Yeah, in terms of map control, India, he's still got a ton of hunt, right? And China really running out of hunt. His vills are just here. And yeah, you're right, that's like his last gold mine. Well, there's another one. Actually, there's a few more gold mines, but I think
it's just far away.
At this point in the game, like, the resources on the map are going to be something that's concerning to the players.
Yeah, I think Mitoe doesn't even know what to do with these vills here. He wants to win this fight and then go back up to that mine, but I don't know.
Standing there for the time. He's probably paying attention to this fight more than he is worrying about his villages. Not losing his units to bad positioning is the important thing.
That's a little bit of a raid. Oh, the Qingdao!
Yeah, coming in. There's a lot of them this time, and no Yurumi left, so I think they will clear up the elephants this time around.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the elephants they don't have their Yurumi buddies. Although there's still some alive.
They don't die, man.
Yeah, they don't. And the Howder in the back just doing damage. Even more Howder. Oh, this could be scary then for China.
That's a lot of elephants.
Jeez. And the elephants are super good now with those two cards.
Yeah. And they're pretty, like, cost efficient, too.
He keeps winning these fights. Just keeps winning these fights with this stronger eco behind it as well. Honestly, I think Cossack might have got this game now.
Yeah, these Qingdao are going to get picked off. Really, either just one of these Mahals has to live to kill all the skirm.
Let's just, bear in mind, these, I think, Howder are usually, like 7 population each? They've now been made less population by... No, that's elephant keeping, isn't it, that makes the units cost less pop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they still are 7.
Discipline Howder is 6 pop, and the Mahout is 7 population. So, like, this is representing a ton of, 70 military pop. That's what it's representing, but there's so few units here.
Brave skirmishers right here.
Yeah. So, march forward, attack those mounted elephant warriors. And they're like, okay.
This is like just friendly villagers just gathering together.
Yeah.
Either one of them could just snipe them with a TC and just kill vills like really efficiently with the town center.
This is where, he's going to try and deny this coin. He's going to hop into the TC, though.
Yeah. He's sniping the villagers. They're going to die in one hit. So he'll kill like 3 or 4 India. He targeted the elephants now.
Yeah, lots of skirms. And only the 2 sort of low HP Mahouts, so can't go back in there. And India finally dropping the industrial age.
Yeah, this is giving Mitoe some time to remass. But I think India's gonna be okay.
He needs to get up at some point, I think.
He's up. He's gonna be up. Oh, with that wonder card, he gets up that much quicker. It's like a fast age politician, really.
Yeah, really safe. And up with the Carney Martyr for the super late game eco here.
It's not bad positioning on it though. I mean,
well, it's kind of like there's no room behind it, like in the black map to build rice paddies around it. But I guess since it's age 4, it's got quite a big radius anyway, so you could probably build quite a few of them around it. Is my assessment of that. For the time being, though, it's just giving bonus to this gold and wood villages.
Yeah, you probably just wanted to get up quick, safely too.
Yeah, have it nice and safe in the back, somewhere hidden. But China now going to push. He's identified it. India's up and going to come in, and looks like Royal Mint coming in now for India for the coin upgrade, getting ready to go into that late game. And China shipping Sagia herd, which is really nice because now he's got more hunts. Yeah. Now that the map's run out of food, and there's like it's kind of hard to get food. All his villages, every village and every town center, now has mustered 4 Sagia, which is 400 food each in them. So now he can delay his rice paddy switch for a bit longer, which is really, really strong for China now. He wants to keep the pressure up. He doesn't want to be switching to rice paddies because that really is where the game starts to get tough. Whoever switches first is at a big disadvantage. Yeah. So really nice card there.
But man, look at the eco though. Like Wickedcossack is just like flowing in resources. They're just coming in so fast. And he's so ahead. He's ahead.
Yeah, 86 villagers, right?
Basically.
He's very far ahead. And like we said earlier that China, it didn't really matter that it was behind an eco because you had honored arquebusier and honored Changdao, like guard units, like just 30% more effective with those upgrades. And you're fighting units that are sort of fortress age, no industrial age upgrades. So it was okay, but now India's up to industrial as well and can get those upgrades.
Both of the elephants, wait, are they? I think the Baja are upgraded, yeah. How are now being upgraded.
Ah, nice. And being up to the industrial age is really nice because you get 9 infinite Yurumi swordsmen as well.
Yeah, there they go.
And now coming in...
It's gonna be a crazy fight.
Yeah, he's now coming in, but Honored Howder isn't in just yet, but maybe that's fine since they're on the back lines. But the Yurumi on the front there cleaning up the Changdao, and that just means the Mahouts are going to be so much more effective because there's no infantry to just sort of stop them. And, God, how do you handle this now? Yurumi is just, like, the perfect counter because it just destroys your Changdao, and then the elephants just come in and wreck you. Does he switch to, like... Yeah, GG. He's calling it. Mitoe resigns. Wickedcossack with his funky India build. Going to be taking game number 2. That was a really, really impressive game. That is a really cool build. And it's like he's practiced this specifically for the China matchup where China sort of goes age 4 by the looks of it. 3 age 1 cards before aging. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, earlier I was questioning Wickedcossack making only like 9 to 10 fishing boats per side. But it went so late. They gather really efficiently. Like you're not over making fishing boats. And you have a nice amount spread out over different whales or fishing spots. And you never have to delete your boats. Like a lot of times if you overboom, when the fish run out, you delete your boats and it's kind of like wasting some resources, but that never happened. And he was like pretty close to fishing out the right side completely, but never did. So he never like wasted any resources on overmaking. So that ended up working really well.
Yeah, just enough fishing boats, right? Like, you don't want to make too many because then you just have tons of fishing boats at the end sitting there idle. You're absolutely right. What a game, though. And I'm really impressed by, like, the combat on the ocean as well. Mitoe tried to, like, deny this side of the water, but Cossack being really diligent with his caravels. It was a really exceptional game. Let's take a look at the post-game. And you can see it's actually very even resources gathered. In fact, China quite a little bit further ahead most of the game, but it was only sort of towards the end where India really does sort of get ahead. So can keep up on land, but the elephants and the Yurumi combos just really, really strong. And then once he'd run out of Fortress Age Yurumi shipments, there is only 1. He then went up to the Industrial and has access to Infinite 9 Yurumi, which is just the perfect combo with those elephants. And what a game. The score is now 1-1. Let's head on out into game number 2, which will be on Deccan. All 9 maps here in the New World Championship map pool, but 2, of course, vetoed. The only time all 9 maps will actually be played in the entire tournament is the grand finals of the LAN. And even that...
Yeah, I think the biggest point in that game was that when he held, when Wickedcossack held against that really big mass from Mitoe with the Changdao and the skirmishers, and he basically had like 7 how to go in and there clean up all the Changdao, and then just had a couple Mahout left over to finishing off Mitoe's army.
I don't know what I'm drinking. Tea of some sort, but it's absolutely delicious. I think it's chai tea. It's wonderful. But yes, Mitoe, he gets the counter pick here. So Wickedcossack going to go with France. Makes a lot of sense. A civ that's very difficult to counter. and of course has 2 scouts, one of which is a native scout, which is very, very strong. So can contest those yaks in the middle with the native scout, and with a civ that doesn't really get hard countered by anything. So really good civ selection choice from Cossack there. France just sort of a very all-round good pick that most people can play. Mitoe going to be picking Japan.
Yeah, I think this is a good counter pick. I feel as France, a weird way to have to deal with Japan. Like, you can't really. I don't think. I think usually the best option is like a straight FF. Japan before they can age up.
We'll see what the players decide to do. But I hear we're nearly at 500 viewers, so that's quite impressive. I think the ultimate record for Age of Empires 3 that we know of is 1,000 viewers, and that was for the very first ESOC tournament on the official Age of Empires Twitch channel. I think ESOC's record is nearly 700, about 650. So would be really, really quite exceptional to be breaking the viewer numbers today. So if you know anyone that might be interested or used to play Age of Empires 3, get in contact on Discord or Facebook or whatever. Let them know this is happening, because this is a LAN tournament qualification match, right? The first LAN in 11 years. And whoever wins this series will qualify to come to the LAN, all expenses paid, and compete on our stage here at the Escape TV studio. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the color teal, cyan, light blue, whatever it is. We say this every time. This is a really weird spawn of Deccan.
Yeah, is there a TP missing here, a native post? I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, there is a native post missing. That is for sure the case.
There's like, I feel like this is not right. There's like, I feel like it might be a missing gold mine or two in the middle.
Do I look like ASAP to you? Yeah, the players don't really care. But yeah, I think for safety we might rehost this one just to make sure.
Yeah, this looks really strange. I don't play this map often, but it looks weird.
Yeah, it spawns like the sort of river looks like sort of side wonky in a way. It's kind of peculiar, but yeah, we'll just rehost it to be absolutely safe that this is correctly spawned. But yeah, mostly we use ESOC maps for tournaments now, which are sort of newer maps made by the community now that we understand the game a lot better and how resource distribution should be. But Deccan, such an iconic map and quite a consistent map for Robot Entertainment map, which is the makers of the game who helped ESO make the Asian Dynasties expansion. ESO just making the original vanilla. But yes, we're going to spawn it again just to be absolutely certain, because to me and Soldier that looked a little bit awkward. But ladies and gentlemen, this will be game number 3 in a best-of-7 series between Wickedcossack and Mitoe. Both players very, very strong, and this series will qualify one of them to compete at the LAN tournament here at the Escape TV studio. My name's Interjection. I am joined by Wicked... No, I'm not. I'm joined by Soldier. Wicked Soldier. I suppose that's a cool name. Who will be casting alongside me today. New account name for sure. Absolutely. Deccan. This spawn looks a lot better. The river doesn't look wonky. Yeah. The native posts have spawned, and I'll let you have a look at the map whilst I introduce the players. But spawning in the south of the map, in the color blue, we do indeed have Wickedcossack playing as the French. Going to be building a trading post immediately since there is so much extra bonus wood, and I sort of expect a market from him as well. Going to be gathering up all that coin by the looks of it, so I think he intends to buy wood at his market here, which he is building, which is why he's gathering that. But the native scout here, off to a good start, finds a couple of water buffalo, and France, as we mentioned, a really strong civ for Deccan, and when you're counterpicked, we're not wanting to be counterpicked generally, since of course that scout gonna find a few of these buffalo. Really like that Mitoe is got his orchard wagon, the cherry orchard, out on the map. It's not a scout, but it does is able to find and net him some yaks here, which is really nice, whilst he gathers just from the traditional berries, which is absolutely fine. Consulate coming down for Japan, and likewise, he's also going to go for an early trading post there as well. The yaks so far, it is, and I really like he's coming out on the sides here, because in 1v1, they always seem to spawn sometimes on the side, whereas in team games, they're always on the middle there. So just come double check the sides and make sure everything's absolutely fine.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Didn't see Mitoe there, but he just let the tiger reset. He sniped one of them.
Yeah. And he knows if it gets stunned, or if he can see it being attacked, he can go in. There is no crack shot for Japan, so Cossack's sort of going to stay nearby and scout out the area. He's going
to go... Yeah, I don't know if he saw Mitoe over there, actually. Like,
huh. Oh, that...
Treasure, like...
I think, like, if he saw Mitoe, it makes a lot of sense. He's not going to go for it because his opponent's Explorer's standing there. If he didn't see Mitoe, I still like it anyway, because he's going to use his crack shot, let it recharge, whilst he scouts sort of the side where the yaks can spawn, just to make sure they're not there or something like that. And now coming back in, he's going to try and force the poof out of this guy. He's going to try and make him go home with the poof ability, and we're going to see it right there. Now he can go for his 80 coin treasure. But
I think he's. I think the Explorer was auto chasing.
Yeah, it was rally. It was chasing the guy down, but he's teleported over here, so the Explorer went in that direction. But yeah, gonna get his 80 coin there. But Age 1 is over. Let's take a quick assessment there of how it went for the players. All units 6, Buffalo for France, and to be expected with the superior scout. So really, really nice job there. Managed to get quite a few of them. And in terms of treasures, looks like Wickedcossack coming out. Actually, it's kind of even. 80 wood and 20 coin compared to 50 wood and 50 wood. So I think Mitoe's slightly ahead because 100 wood is better than 80. But it's very, very even on treasures. I think the yaks really is what it comes down to. But enough of Age 1. Let's talk about this matchup and what they're doing. That's a very aggressive trading post from Cossack.
Yeah. A couple things I want to point out real quick. Neither player really aging too much earlier than they typically would. I mean, Cossack going 13-ville instead of the typical 14, but sometimes you can even go 13-ville on a regular map. And Mitoe building his wonder without any villagers. Cossack's going to try to get a really early stagecoach going on this TP line.
Ah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is something that players used to do against Japan a lot, and a Cossack's going to do it here. Just going to get all of these down really, really fast, and then use his 400 wood by the looks of it to get the stagecoach up. And we'll see what he does with the wood. I'm expecting stagecoach and then the 200 other wood to be spent on something else. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, he's grabbing them all very, very quickly to just keep up with the Japanese eco. So he doesn't really intend to be sieging shrines down too early by the looks of it. Instead, just going to keep up with them with a stagecoach instead.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I flared that second TP because it's on the same screen as Mitoe's TC. So I was like pretty surprised he was able to build it. Based on the town center construction radius.
Yeah, it usually doesn't spawn within the TC radius, but that is exceptionally close. Thankfully for him, it's fine and is able to get that up. So all is well and good there. But yeah, Wickedcossack, this makes a lot of sense, right? He's starting with 700 wood because he spent 200 on the stagecoach. He spent 200 more on that barracks here, and he's probably got a musk in queue. And then before he needs to finish the batch, he's going to use this 700 wood here to build a house just so he can quickly finish the batch off, and also adding in a second barracks with that 700 wood as well. So that's the early plays. Steel traps coming in for him, but Mitoe, he is going for the very boomy, very greedy Japanese style Heavenly Kami followed by 600 wood just to spam shrines up to 200 population and stack all those really nice bonuses with the Toshogu Shrine and of course the Consulate.
Yeah, so it looks like this is going to be like an Expo Pike rush, but with 30 TP Stagecoach already researched. This is going to be, and France has these cows that they can eat basically at any point in time to give a quick boost, probably when this hunt runs out, close to his TC. And
yeah,
Enemy Archer out from Mitoe. He's gonna be able to push unless there's crossbow and Q in. There's 8 crossbow, which is just enough to
deflect these Yumi. Yeah. This is really nice from Cossack. He's got a really strong economy here behind this, and now starting to contest shrines. Yeah, and 8 crossbowmen shipment following this up as well.
I think he's only going to make 5 pike. I don't think he's going to make any more.
Yeah, it's, often kind of hard for Nagis to come out super early for Japan and no stable currently, so you don't really need to overdo it, right? You don't need too many pikes, so just going to make the 5 here, and he's got quite a lot of crossbow, but second rank's coming in, not a stable, so Cossack's decision absolutely fine.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because I think Mitoe's going to try to go full Yumi to try to fight off the... mostly an infantry game for quite a while. 4 villagers twice in a row from Mitoe.
Yeah,
so,
that's interesting with Heavenly Kami. I'd expect to see, like, perhaps wood or something, but 4 villagers twice, still very eco-focused. Crossbows coming in.
And you got to remember, behind this, there's 3 TP stagecoach, and this is a lot of crossbows. I don't think Yumi is going to be the cost-effective way to deal with this.
But it does have extra range, so he is abusing that for the time being, and just like trying to bait Cossack every time. Like he's just sort of coming towards the town center. That TC, he pops those villagers right on that tree into the TC just to do some damage. And the Yumis, do with that extra range, but he is able to like occasionally get volleys in here. But I think he doesn't mind too much, right? With the big trading post behind, he's not looking to just go super, just dunk all his units in there.
Okay, so we got the Portuguese crossbow. Heavenly Kami is not really doing much right now, with Mitoe just building 1 more shrine to get up to 90 shrine pop. That's including 20 population from the large Toshiga.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense that he's not gone with 600 wood. He's not able to use Heavenly Kami because one of his scouts is dead, and he's only got the 1. And if you send 600 wood, it's going to be really tough to build, all of those shrines with just the one scout. So it kind of makes sense that he's gone with 4 vills twice, just because you don't have to be building tons of shrines with it. But it is a shame that he's not using that bonus. But he'll be able to push out and get this back at some point and finish off that boom. But now adding in the stable. But just as he's adding in the stable, it looks like Cossack, he's switching in a few extra musks into the mass, and he's put down a stable as well, and he's starting to train Hussar. So just at the perfect moment, he's sort of switching in, as if he's sensing it, as if he's sensing Mitoe adding in. You can yeah.
So it's interesting what he's choosing to do. He's choosing to stage 2 with the 700 gold shipment rather than age up, which should be pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see I don't know if France can actually push into Japan's base with this really large gold mine, the 5,000 coin gold mine in Japan's base. I don't know. I don't know if pushing in H2 is the way to deal with Japan on this map.
Yeah, he's sort of trying to clear up. Maybe this is also why he's not built so many shrines, just because Age 2 France has got lots of pikes and musks and stuff out in the colonial age, and he can just kill all your shrines down. So instead of making a bunch of shrines, which is going to siege down, he's shipped the 4 villages. The more we talk about it, the more I like what Mitoe does, and the way he's adapting to this.
Oh my! Look at the amount of Hussar.
Oh wow, that's a lot. With 2 stables though, and this massive French eco, this sort of late colonial eco. He's able to get quite a big number out. But Japan, not really leaving his base. Japan doesn't want to go anywhere. So these Huss not going to catch any Yumi out of position or something like that.
Oh, well, see, Mitoe, this is huge. This is really big. Mitoe sees the amount of Hussar here.
With a stray Yumi.
Because of that, he's adding this wall here.
Yeah. Like,
scouting that was really important. He's adding Ashley now. Is he going to push in here? I don't know.
Is he just going to jam them all through? He's found a way into the base, and Mitoe didn't stop. But they're stuck. They're stuck. Oh my goodness. What? What? Come on, get them. This is so big. This is so big. He can't get them through. Like, these Hussars, these units here are stopping them from entering. Cossack just made a big mistake. This is why I think Mitoe was basing him through the small hole.
Oh my god. Hussar HP comes in.
Wow.
God, this is why you can't push into Japan's base like this. He just lost. Oh, we got to go to units lost, right? He lost 20 Hussar. 20 Hussar. It's 11 minutes into the game.
20 Hussar. I saw something similar. It was H2O versus Snow on Siberia back in the day, and sort of there was a very small gap between H2O's Wonder and a barracks, and Ryan sort of moved his units back in this way that was like, I'm retreating from your Hussar, and sort of baited them through a small hole, and he just got all of the units stuck between these two buildings, and Mitoe's just done something either by coincidence, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that was intentional. And
positioning.
If
this is like one of those games. When you look at the post game stats, and you see the units made from each player, and you're like, how did you lose like 25 Hussar when you compare the unit counts? And then you don't really see in the stats that there was a choke point. It wasn't an open fight. It was positioning that really won the battle.
Yeah. You just can't read into that thing from stats, can you? You have to see it like that happen. But now
and that one Yumi that was scouting that gave him the information of how many Hussar was there to add this wall, I think really was the difference in the game so far, or the reason that it's even a close game right now.
Yeah. Mitoe just very, very... Oh, Mitoe is just very diligent, very strong player. I'm actually very impressed. This is... And now Japan has a big...
The chat is going to go insane when they see that
I'm watching it back now. I'm watching the chat go crazy 2 minutes later. But Mitoe has a big kick in his stride now. Look at this. He's got very confident to sort of push out here with his units. He knows that he's dealt with a big threat, and he's going to use that advantage to get out on the map and start destroying these forward bases. And this is...
So he sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but Mitoe did send 5 Ashy back-to-back, and he's about to run out of his orchards. There have 100 food left. He's going to... Well, there are a lot of berries on this map, so that is helpful.
Yeah, maybe he just ignores the cherry orchard wagon. Yeah, he's just going to gather out on the map, which makes so much sense, right? But, like, France now having to come in, this is a do-or-die moment. He's going to bring his CDBs in here. They're up to the top, so if they auto-attack, they're going to attack the CDB first. They're just going to sponge with their 40% range resist whilst he's pushing with as much cav as he can muster. They've got cav attack and cav HP, and behind this, the unit's trying to keep up. Mitoe doing a good job of kiting back so that these crossbows are all sort of never quite in range.
The Ashy... This is all in for Wickedcossack, I feel like.
Yeah, although there's not that many Ashies left, and there's a big Hussar line, and once these Ashies go down, there's a few Nagis also tanking as well. Thankfully, a few more Ashi entering the battle, and that's what he needs, because if these Cav can get onto the Archer line, then he's kind of toast. But I think he's got enough, and Daimyo Masasuma coming in, Mochitada, pardon me, giving them the extra bonus stats here, and the Hussar line is destroyed, and these archers are going to be absolutely fine.
That's GG, I think.
Yeah, especially...
You gotta save that Daimyo, bro.
He has to win this fight, because he needs to rebuild his trade route, right, that's just been destroyed by Mitoe. But the push wasn't successful, and he knows now that the tide really has turned, and Mitoe picking up game number 2. What an exceptional cav block. Just not being able to get through the hole. I'm going to get a lot of flack, for pushing through this tiny hole and getting stuck. Oh, dear. Yes. Oh, wow.
That was the craziest fight I can remember. I mean...
That was so awkward. That's the tournament effect for you, though, right? Yeah, that's right. The tournament's like... It makes you do strange things.
I mean, it wasn't a bad idea to force a fight, but just like in a choke like that, it was so well, the building position was so well done by Mitoe that there wasn't really, and really anytime you try to go into a Japan base like that, it's usually not a good idea. But I mean, the units getting stuck was something that you never really see that, and it just had such a huge effect on that fight.
Yeah, I really like Cossack's build, though. He kept up with Japan in terms of resources all game long. He's, in fact, ahead, and the fact that he had all of that sort of unit presence on the map. Mitoe didn't really feel comfortable making shrines, and Japan just never able to get that many out. France just sort of ahead even till the end of the game. Well, let's take a look at that military unit population. That fight was so, when it should have been, you know, very even fight in terms of what we were looking at. The positioning just ruined it and didn't go so well. And then here, that do or die push, because Cossack knows he has to do something, otherwise the game's over. It wasn't successful, and the game was over. But what an exceptional game. Number 3, Mitoe picking up the second victory in this series. Let's head on out into the lobby. The next map will be the Thar Desert. Mitoe must pick his civilization first, and then Cossack will select his afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the first of that game were really good for Cossack. Like, it was looking really tough for Mitoe. Early stagecoach from French, and then just like the archer advantage with the crossbow numbers that Cossack had, and then getting 2 stables and really actually utilizing that and getting out so many Hussar. I mean, in an open field fight, I'm pretty sure French would have destroyed, but that wasn't how the fight went down.
There best be a $100 award for the stupidest move of the tourney. That's the thing, right? Yeah, Cossack not feeling good about that mistake, and he's clearly putting that. I'll pay you $100 if you make 2 more. Oh dear, top banter. But yeah, Mitoe can't play Japan. Not that he would sort of want to here. But let's see what he picks.
I can't stop thinking about that fight. That was insane. Oh man.
Yeah.
Mitoe going Russia.
And this is this is very clever, right? Because India would be a very solid pick for Wicked Cossack here, but he's already won with it against his China earlier, so Cossack can't play India, making Russia a very safe pick.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, because this is a qualifier for the LAN top bracket, does this put the winner into like the final 4 players?
Yes, the winner, if they win this game, they qualify. They are. Was that not clear?
Well, no. I guess I'm asking, what's the difference between qualifying in the upper bracket versus qualifying in the lower bracket?
There is no difference functionally.
But it's not just like the top bracket is seeded into the final 4 series.
No. The seeding of, so you can treat you can treat the actual LAN as an entirely separate tournament where previous tournament history does not matter. Those final 8 will be seeded separately on some other metric that is yet to be determined. Oh. But the top 8 will be seeded in a way that makes sense for their skill level. More info on that, but your positioning in this current tournament may or may not be part of that seeding, right? So I haven't decided is what I'm trying to say. But
well, it's not like you're not keeping the same like bracket location, like.
No. It will almost certainly change.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I didn't know if there was any advantage to winning in the upper bracket. But anyway, man, this has been pretty close so far.
Yeah, Cossack going Dutch.
When I talked to Mitoe over the past week or so, he was pretty confident versus Cossack. So
yeah, I was hanging out with Mitoe last night. We were playing free-for-alls and stupid scenarios on AoE3, just hanging out as you do. And he said that he thinks it'll be a good series, but that he's sort of confident that he'll win this, and it's looking that way. The score is 2-1, and if Mitoe picks a game up here, he'll pull ahead to 3-1, and that's when you can really sort of decisively tell. So, but Cossack, anything could happen here. Dutch versus Russia, 2 sort of quite interesting civs for Thar Desert. I really like the Russia pick. It's a very aggressive map, but there are no trading posts for late game Russia. But
yeah, one thing I want to point out about this matchup, from just seeing it, I don't ever play this matchup, but from previous tournaments, it seemed like timing with a lot of Cossack as soon as Dutch hit H3. And before that, before the game gets to that point, I think Colonial Militia usually can be pretty nice for Dutch.
Yeah.
That's usually only viable on a TP map, which this is not. So this might be a little difficult for Dutch to fend off the H2 pressure.
Yeah, that was my next point, right? Like Dutch need quite a lot of sort of hunt in base until around the 12-minute mark, and this map doesn't really deliver on that. I'll let you take a look at the map and the fairness and all of that sort of thing. But actually, having said that, there does seem to be sort of 2 nearby hunts for the Dutch player, which seems sort of really solid for him. I think that's sort of one weakness Dutch will have on this map is the sort of lack of hunt and having to push out sooner and can make it a little bit awkward to get up to age 3, especially if you want all those banks. But yeah, Russia could be very strong with their sort of early pressure. But if you don't interject, I'm going to assume that the maps are fine and that the hunts and things are all good. But yeah, AC5 Wood Treasure immediately here. And Cossack being very diligent. He's got his envoy out in front. He knows that there's nothing here to steal it and is able to handle that tiger pretty effectively. But that's going to be really good. Dutch going to be really appreciating of that wood, and it's going to help him get those early banks down nice and quick, especially when you're expecting pressure.
He skipped on gathering a lot of wood because of that treasure.
Yeah,
because he started market and he was going to have to gather some wood, get this house up without any extra time chopping.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. I mean, I probably won't help his age up all that much just because you sort of have to go up on 15 anyway as Dutch. Otherwise, that first bank's always really troublesome to sort of get down. But definitely going to help with the first couple of banks, or the first bank coming down. That's a really nice pickup. 90 wood there. So sort of the game very even. Wicked Cossack got a big wood treasure, and Mitoe looks like he's going to get a big wood treasure here. That's a smaller wood treasure for Wicked Cossack. I'd say he is sort of ahead in this age 1. Having said that, Mitoe got 55 coin. That's pretty good. So no, very, very even age 1 in terms of treasures. Although...
you know what's actually interesting is... the lack of trees.
Yeah, this is sort of like, oh, they're all on the front. That's kind of weird. I mean, like, we know this map, you have to walk a long way from your town center. Often there's a tree right next to your TC for you to chop, but on this map, that's not the case. You do have trees nearby your town center, but it is quite awkward. You have to walk quite far to get to them, but Mitoe's trees are quite far forward. He's got very good hunt, but quite far forward trees.
This market's not going up.
No, it's not. He's forgotten about his market.
He could actually get hunting dogs right now too, so that is unfortunate.
He'll build it, I'm sure.
Well, it's possible that he wanted to not waste gathering time to age up as quickly as possible, but he could already have hunting dogs in right now. I think that's a mistake.
Well, he gets the age up in, and just as the age up is got in, he sent the villager out to finish the market. So whatever it was intentional.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think it's pretty important for Dutch to get that, for Russia to get that market in hunting dogs as soon as they can. It really helps them just kind of be able to get batches of muskets and vills queued up together. That's pretty good to get that basically as soon as he clicked up.
Yeah, food can be a real issue, right? So you just want to have all the upgrades you can have, queuing all those sort of things. They cost so much. But
look at where he has to gather wood is that's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not.
On top of that, now look, they're going over to switch to the mine. There's a lot of walking time for these villagers because of the tree position.
Yeah, and he's not going to get his first villain queue immediately because building that bank, I thought his wood treasure would help mitigate some of this, so you could get that bank down nice and early and then get back on the coin mine to get that first villain queue. But as Dutch, it can sometimes be a struggle to get that first vill. But maybe all of the treasure, like really nice treasures, were sort of mitigated by this awkward walking time. Yeah, it's not ideal map for the Dutch. A little bit awkward. But Russia now forward. We're up to age 2, and this is what we kind of expect. Russia need to put the pressure on, make it very tough for the Dutch player to get up to the fortress age, sort of do as much damage to the Dutch as he can, and really punish him early on as he attempts to do that. Try and force as much sort of reactions out of him as he can before he gets to the fortress age. So forward blockhouse down, units in queue. We see musketeers immediately queued, and he's overpopped 27 out of 25. So we know 5 Cossacks is on the way. You could say 5 Wicked Cossacks are on the way.
I'll point out the building position here and how exposed everything over here is. Getting this herd by his TC, this little between the barracks and the market could be a position for some skirmishers to just sit in there and snipe muskets. So it's going to be interesting how this
Here we go.
is out. Yeah.
Takes a volley on that musk. Comes in, shoots a Vil there. I think it looks like Wicked Cossack paying attention. He knows 5 musks can't kill a Vil, so he's going to wait for one to be selected. Keep these musks as close to his TC as he can, and minimize having to... Five pikes pop out, and are going to force away the cavalry there, whilst the town centre targets down the musketeers. And Mitoe not going to get... Mitoe not going to get any villager kills there. Shoots at a couple, but Wicked Cossack's absolutely fine. He's going to pick up the envoy.
Steel traps for Russia coming in.
Steel traps. So behind this, Mitoe's got quite a good eco. So as long as he's not like losing too many musks, he's got a strong economy behind this. And it looks like
this wall is going to be helpful.
Yeah. Classic Wicked Cossack wall where he leaves the pillars in.
I'm starting to realize he walls quite a bit.
Yeah, well, it's important, right? Especially as Dutch here. His hunts are getting a bit carried away to the left-hand side here. He's going to have to sort of bring them back under control in case Mitoe sort of comes around. But 700 food coming down with a stable, so a Cossack switching coming.
Yeah, definitely. Mitoe does not have placer mines. That's kind of interesting. It's just skipping that. He's going to start switching to Strelic Cossack with that 700 wood shipment.
Yeah, get ready for Boyars. Mass those 2 units up. And the Cossacks sort of... They're not as weak to a town centre fire, right? They can perhaps get a bit more done. Just searching around in the blackness. Just make sure there's no villagers gathering here. But at some point, Cossack... Oh, 5 pikes might scare Mitoe away. He stops, but he is not going to get snared.
Sure, some 5 pikes for Dutch right now. He's saving up to age up. He's not intending on fighting us in H2.
Yeah, he has to get up, right? Because there's just so few hunt. He needs to like, he can't waste time making units. He needs to get up soon before the hunt runs out, or commit to an H2 and go out and get the hunts, right? Just you have to play the age 2 to get the hunts. But here he's going to try and use the small number of hunts he's got just to get that age up in queue, and then push out with the Fortress Age timing, those strong Fortress Age units. But I think Cossack could have a bit of trouble, right? Like Mitoe's just massing up Musk Huss, and as soon as Dutch hits up to the Fortress Age, he's going to have very few units, and he's not going to be able to leave his base. And it's going to be hard for Dutch to have any resources.
It's going to be, this is like going to be a test of patience. Is Mitoe going to contain, or is he going to push into this crazy building placement by Cossack? Like, look at how tight this base is.
Yeah, it's really nice.
He's just going to try to take the barracks down, though, and just smash everything in there.
But this is such a good time to push. Like, the age up's coming in here. Like, Dutch is no food. Even if he gets up, like, it's going to be hard to train units. And here comes all those Cossacks. They're going to get in here. And the skirms, yeah, they've gone the wrong way almost. They're going to be attacked by the Cossacks and all going to go down. But he is up to the Fortress Age. But this is the big timing Mitoe is waiting for. It pushed in at exactly the right moment, just as his opponent was sort of aging. And going to take all these units out before they can be combined with any shipments or anything like that. And Cossack, he now just has enough food for Minutemen. And they are, there they are.
There's 2 Reuters in queue. There's probably some on the way in a shipment. Here's 8 Musketeers left. We'll see what 9 Reuters and 4 at the stable are going to be able to do. Even more Musketeers dying to the TC.
This is not looking good. I mean, what are we going to see? Like, we might see 9 Reuters, yeah.
There it is. Here we go. This is a big fight. And there's not a lot of Musketeers. Okay, Strelitz are going to be...
Oh! You got the batch of 5 Reuters out as well. But Mitoe just going to go for that stable. He just needs to bring it down. But he's paying a lot for it.
Yeah, he's paying a lot, but... Oh, no, don't run.
He gets it. Stable goes down. And now he's going to get out of here. Remass a bit. But the Reuters do manage... Cossack did manage to get 9 Reuters out plus 5 before the stable went down, which was enough to do a lot of damage to those Cossacks, but it's going to be tough. Strelic's very strong against the Reuter here. He's going to chase down the Cossacks with the Reuters. The Strelics don't have very good range, so they're not able to get them right now. But Strelic sort of really... Make a gate. Yes, gate! Oh, perfect! Straight through that gate. And it's going to give him... He does lose 1, but it's going to give him time for the Reuters to get around this side. And...
More Strelics coming.
Yeah. But
this is a lot of idle time.
Yeah, it is, right? And that's why Russia's just standing here. Oh, it does only 3 villagers down the bottom. If only he had more, right? There's 17 vills in that TC, when you only need 10 to max out the damage.
Yeah, but having the stable is pretty important right now. He doesn't have anything in queue, though.
Oh, he rebuilt the stable. Right. He's gonna clean... I think he's got this. I'd like to see
the big decision. The big decision was, would Mitoe follow up to age 3 or just try to push? And he pushed, and this card right here for Dutch, the 1,000 wood. You can do so much with that, and that's usually the biggest trouble for Dutch is to getting up infrastructure.
Yeah.
After hitting age 3.
I think he's stabilized now, and with that wood, he's going to be able to he's just going to be able to get barracks down, houses down, and he's going to be exactly where he needs to be as Dutch. I think he's actually held a really nice base defense, and that gate was coming in absolutely clutch. Without that, he would have lost those skirmishes and not been in a sort of good position.
Mitoe sees the dead elephants, and he's on his way to a little side base right here.
Yeah. Here he comes.
And that's pretty important. I mean, that's a lot of wood investment right there.
Yeah, but the vills are not going to go down. He's seen this, but he can't really pressure it. There's a lot of Reuters and skirmishes. And now this is really like an awkward thing to be fighting. Like, he wanted to do as much damage to the Dutch as he could, and he did a good job of it. He killed the stable. He really made Dutch pay to get up. That worked out well. But now that Dutch is up to the next stage, Dutch has access to skirmishes, which just outrange the Strelets and the muskets, and in fact everything Russia can make. So as long as Wickedcossack's careful with his skirmishes, he's just going to kite all day long versus Russia, and that's going to be really awkward. He does have some Cossacks of his own, and Boyars is active, but to deal with those skirmishes. But with Reuters on the field as well, this is the perfect composition for Dutch.
That Huss is going to pretty much kill this whole army, I think.
Looks like we're going to see a fight next to these vills here. No, he's going to try and leave.
There's 4 Huss in queue right now.
7 Huss in queue now. And looks like he's... No, he's... There they are. He wants them... If they were here, like, 10 seconds sooner, Mitoe be absolutely toast.
There's no way.
Yeah,
no way to
these
kill the Dutch army.
These Strelets are kind of not going to do too well. Veteran Cossack... Hussar. I keep saying Cossack because it's Wickedcossack, but those Strelets going to get cleaned up, and this infantry army can't go anywhere. And I think Cossack's done it.
That's GG.
He's done it. What a great game. It was very close. There were a couple of moments there where I was thinking that Cossack couldn't hold. Russia just seemed so on top of him and not letting him gather. But he managed to get up, and with those Fortress Age shipments, got away with the 1,000 wood, set up for the long game. Veteran Cossack comes in, Hussar rather, and that's it for Mitoe.
I'm really impressed with how Wickedcossack's playing. I did not expect him to be this competitive with Mitoe. Yeah, basically, perfectly defended. The base building was fantastic and really had pretty big impact on the outcome of these fights. That gate, like you said earlier, I saved 7 skirmishers from just dying.
Yeah. And just having that wood on reserve, really, really nice to be able to do that. But Mitoe, like, he played it very well as well. He sort of comes in at the right moment, destroys all the units under the TC, just as he was aging. But Cossack with the base building and manages to pull ahead. Let's take a look at the all resources gathered here. I think Dutch is... Yeah, you've got the banks working in the background, but Russia is ahead. And then once he's up to Fortress, the vills can kind of get back to work here. But, oh no, that was 1,000 wood shipment, I think.
Yeah,
military
the
unit
1,000 wood
population.
was really big. I mean, he was popped 40 out of 40 for so long, and dropped like 6 houses, got a second stable, vet Huss.
Yeah. And here you see Mitoe sort of comes in with some muskets, loses them in the beginning, and then masses up, pushes in just as he hits Fortress. They have that fight in base where he really kills all the Dutch units, but we saw the rest of the game. Let's head on out into the lobby and get into game number 5. The score is 2-2.
Right?
This is a very, very close series, but of course we expected that between these two players. Mitoe and Wickedcossack very strong, and it is indeed a qualification round, right?
Yeah, this is, man. I think Mito's probably a little bit nervous right now because for Wickedcossack, at least for me, myself, and probably most North American players, don't really know how he plays because I think we just have different time zones.
Yeah.
Because I never see him online.
Yeah.
Actually, Mito was really confident going into this series, not too worried about Cossack, and he's playing like at a really high level right now.
He is doing very well, very well. Sundancious coming in with 100 bitties. Thank you very much. Oh, and $2 from MyPriz50. Everyone donate $1. Let's get some dollars rolling into this stream. Thank you very much for the support. Yes, it is. This whole tournament is funded by us, and we do what we're doing with the community support. So yeah, thank you to everyone who is a subscriber. Actually, being a subscriber is the best way to support us. And if this series does not earn some subscribers, then I don't know what does. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for the support. But we're going to be going into game number 5. The score's 2-2. Very, very even series. Both players playing very well. And you make a good point about Cossack being someone the North American players don't get to see too much, and that's because Cossack is just this, like, he's a really great guy, and he's just like this super strict with himself. He will always go to bed at like midnight or whatever it is. He will not stay up later. You cannot tempt him to stay up later at all. Like I've hung out with him a lot. In fact, Mitoe I've hung out a lot, and yeah, that's probably why he just sort of will not deviate from his bedtime. So that's why you don't get to see him. But we're clicking into High Plains. Game number 5. It looks like British versus Germany will be the matchup on this map. I'm going to say this matchup on this map. Yes, that's right. British versus Germany, and you can see the standings so far. The ones they are victorious with, they can no longer play. They are used up. But ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 5 in a best-of-7 series between Wickedcossack and Mitoe. This is a qualification match. The winner of this series will progress through to the LAN. The loser will drop down into the lower bracket where there is still an opportunity to qualify. In fact, I expect to see both of these players qualifying regardless of who wins this match. But, you know, this is a big one.
Do you know?
Yeah, I do.
You expect them both there? Because I think Wickedcossack
is in your group? I don't think he is.
I think they run into Tabin, actually.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's... I don't know. We'll talk about the brackets later, but I did the maths this morning and looked at who might actually be coming through, but that was the conclusion sort of I came to. We'll talk about it after the series, I think, the brackets, but let's take a look. Wickedcossack in the south of the map, in the color blue, playing as the Germans, leaving his coin on the floor there, has 50 coin nearby, and indeed 30 food as well. We're going to leave them, can get them later on, and doesn't need the coin to age up, and instead, Explorer going to come out straight onto the map for treasures. But Mitoe off to a brilliant start. Here he is in the north of the map, in the color teal, cyan blue, the same he plays every game, that classic Mitoe color, finding 130 food, an exceptional treasure on this map. In fact, it's nerfed. It was 140 food on RE patch, but ESOC patch brings, it's the only treasure that's been changed. But yeah, picking that up, that's going to be really, really nice for him.
So I'm going to just go ahead and say I'm probably pretty biased because I talked to Mitoe quite a bit. He's a friend of mine, so series, this is not the best matchup for British. Surprised that it was his counter pick here, especially on such a big map where raids can be really prevalent later on in H3. And I think a lot of people tend to believe that Germany wins this matchup pretty solid advantage. So
right. So you're saying this is very German favored, and you think Wickedcossack perhaps has the edge there because of that, playing as Germany.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different ways to play this matchup as Germany. You can play H2, typical like semi-FF. It's gonna be really more on Mitoe as to how he defends his raids. Is he gonna stay H2 for a long time? Is he gonna just make Pike and then try to get up to H3 and go with like a Goon longbow composition? I think it's gonna be on Mitoe to make like the right moves this game to win it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna reiterate that because Germany is the one coming at you, right? They have that really strong mid-game economy. Let's just cover this briefly. 2 settler wagons is the equivalent of 4 villages, right? Mitoe only gets 3 villages, and in the and here he's gonna get another villager. Although that Mitoe gonna mitigate actually some of that settler wagon-ness, I suppose, with the villager treasure. This is really nice. So Mitoe, yeah, even if the matchup favors perhaps his opponent, he's got a really great age 1 here, decisively coming out ahead with that 140 food treasure that's going to help him age up a bit sooner. You can see he's already got that in queue, and a settler treasure as well. That's going to be really, really good for him. But also, Germany have 6 villager shipment in age 2. 3 settler wagons. That's 6 villages. They have this really strong mid-game economy, and then they come at you with this fortress age timing where they have 8 skirms that also delivers 3 Ulans, 7 skirms with 3 Ulans, and of course these big Ulan shipments and other shipments as well. So you're absolutely right. It is definitely down to Mitoe to defend, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles this. But what were you flaring? Did he backherd with his...
No, Mitoe sent his vill that he got from the treasure to backherd once, and then he just sent them away.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's got to really hurt. That villager treasure is on the same screen as Wickedcossack's town center, so that's man, to get it stolen like that. He obviously didn't see it. No, must not have.
His scouting pattern went straight up the top here. He didn't go this way at all, so he had no idea it existed. And Germany, with the 1 scout, it's kind of like that's just Germany tend to not have a great age 1, so such is the way of things. But looks like he is going to get that up in time for the pass, which is really, really nice. And he did find a tomahawk treasure as well, which is going to aid him with some of that scouting now. But the villager continuing to herd.
Do you
think it might be used? Oh my goodness! I think I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, I think that's going to be well, because when you're playing Germany, those free Ellens are coming. Okay, he's running back now. Thought he was going to maybe do a forward base there, but now he knows, you got to get back. The free Ellens are going to be coming.
Yeah, you can't be hanging around. As soon as that shipment arrives in, you got to get home to safety. But yeah, I was half expecting you to say, oh my goodness, this forward villager could drop a forward stable or barracks, and we could see Mitoe really flipping the matchup and just being super aggressive early on.
So Wickedcossack sending 700 wood. He's building a late market. I saw him do that in a game, his last series, to try to get some extra units out. And so he's going to get his upgrades off of the 700 wood. Go for another TP. That's maybe what his Explorer's heading to right now. And Mitoe going with an early stable start. Did he not get the tower? Did he age up with the food politician?
Yeah, he aged up with 500 food. I just saw the big crate finally get eaten, but Wickedcossack scouted that with the tomahawk, so he did see the 500 food on the floor just as he aged up. But yeah, no upgrades yet for Cossack. You're right, 700 wood on the floor, so he'll get them in now at the market, but also 700 wood for Mitoe. That's definitely expected. British want to be building manors. But yeah, 2 Ulans now coming across the map from the shipments of 700 wood of Cossack. They are now sort of coming forward, and with that tomahawk scouting around the back, they probably have a good angle of entry. They know where to go. This barracks being placed nicely to defend the coin villagers. Are they going to get caught? They find a villager there, and they are going to get caught.
Yeah.
Or one is going to get caught. He trades it off for the... No! That would have been a nice... He grabs it, and he gets away! Oh, what a play. Manages to... So trading off the Ulan for the villager seems okay, actually. Just the one. I mean...
This is kind of big, I think. The native scout that Mitoe had just died there. It's unfortunate. Native scouts can be really, really useful.
Yeah, you're right.
This is interesting. This is a good little scout. This is... if we look at the map, we can clearly see that's Mitoe's next hunt.
Yeah.
Or he still has a lot in base, but eventually that's going to be his next hunt. Wickedcossack going to know exactly when he starts hurting that.
Yeah. And, oh, he's moving away now, but could well send it back there. There is a manor out here, too, to have scouting info.
Okay, so this is like I've seen this build. I think Lord Raphael did this recently in a game as French though, where he makes some pike counter the all-in mass.
I really like this. On his way,
Yeah.
he's going to pick up this treasure here, but
Whoa, okay.
yeah, the Ulan's like, oh, I don't want to see a few pikes there. I don't want to fight that. But 320 XP for Mitoe. Nice big treasure. High Plains has plenty of them. But Wickedcossack adding in a second trading post, and I really like this. One on each side of the map there. Make it very difficult to take them both out because you have to travel so far. But that is what Mitoe's going to do. He's got 5 pikes. They're going to head on up to the trading post and kill it.
Ooh, perfect pop.
Nice catch.
I think Wickedcossack did this build where you make it's a nice build. I used to do it a bit where you send well, actually he kind of did the reverse card order. Oh, actually no. He sent 700 coin. He didn't need to do that.
Perhaps
I'm surprised.
He
only made
You're saying he
made 3 from the stable, and I thought he was going to do the two cards FF with 700 wood, and you end up having like 4 from the shipments and 3 from the stable. Ooh, this is bad.
Big catch. Wickedcossack kind of literally walked into that one. Mitoe just having his cav in a really sort of almost random location there, sort of trying to come in from the side. I don't think Cossack expected there to be a massive hussar just standing there for pretty much no reason.
Yes.
We'll remind Cossack to restart his game afterwards. It sounds like he's got the sound bug. But yeah, does lose the Ulan. Really big pickup for Mitoe. So looking very strong, and a villager there. Wickedcossack, though, up to the Fortress Age. He's going to have fewer Ulans. He's traded quite a few of them off for Vil kills earlier, or one of them, and he lost a few as well. Going to deny that barracks. That's really nice. And Mitoe doing all the right things again, pushing in just at the right time with a big massive...
There's 3 war wagons in queue, and I'm sure there's some being shipped right now.
Yeah, but he's got a moment to... He thought about killing that Explorer there, but thought better of it. He didn't want the Explorer to go into hand combat and then stop these escaping, just to say 3 war wagons and a batch of war wagons pop out. So he knows he doesn't want to overstep his one Ulan.
For 1 huss.
Fair enough.
This is going to be interesting. Mitoe's going to be up, but not for quite a while. It looks to me that Wickedcossack is gathering either for a veteran Ulan or mercenaries. He's got 19 villagers on coin right now.
Yeah, and 5 on wood there to get that final 200 for veteran Ulan. I think we're probably... I mean, I don't know how good veteran Ulan would be with so few Ulans massed. He lost 4. He lost another one in that fight we just saw. And lost 1 in base. He doesn't have that many Ulan to upgrade, so it doesn't seem like an overly strong upgrade. He's going to get veteran Ulan anyway. That's still okay, because you've got 9 and 8 Ulans as shipments, which will benefit from that. And, of course, Ulan are very, you're only sort of cav unit, so you will be training it. But I think Mitoe, he's done what he needs to do. He sort of came in, did some damage as he was aging, killed a lot of Ulans, and didn't lose really any villagers, or too many villagers, rather, in that early portion. So... Wickedcossack's timing that is so scary, Germany so frightening to deal with, is not going to be as strong. Mitoe's done a good job.
This is similar to game 1 where Cossack had the H3 time advantage, where he got up earlier and had again sent 3 war wagon shipments just like in that first game, and hasn't really done anything with it. I think British is in pretty good lead. Pretty important to mention the 2 treasures, the 2 320 XP treasures that Mitoe picked up. I mean, that's a lot of XP.
He got 2 of them? Holy sugar, that's a lot of XP.
Right. Yeah.
That's really impressive. That's a lot of XP. That's really good. Like, that's so much XP. And now he's Fortress. He can really make a lot of use of it, too.
So Cossack just got his shipment and just dropped 1,000 gold. So I don't even know what really good guess as to what he just sent, either Jaegers or Black Riders, but
I think Black Riders, right? Like Black Riders are your only goons as Germany. War wagons just don't sort of live up to the task, and they'll be needed versus the Hussar. But the Black Riders, the longbow is going to be very strong against them, and now veterancy coming in on those as well. I just don't think the Jaegers seem appropriate. I 1,000 wood coming out of Mitoe.
But he already has 7 war wagons, and he doesn't even have a barracks. Like,
okay,
you're gonna need some infantry at some point.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will be skirmishers then, without a barracks. You just need something to complement the unit comp, right? It's just not ideal.
Okay, looks
Maybe it's fine.
building a little bit of a base over here and getting a second stable. I'm gonna read into that as him going really heavy on goons and making some longbow behind them. Oh, and there's the Jaegers.
Jaegers coming out. I mean, this is fine. They got 40% range resist, so they're going to be quite good against the longbows.
Look at okay, so the 1,000 wood just hit the floor, and now 10 longbow hit the floor. Like he had to be stacking shipments from that XP treasure. Like those have had such a big impact on this game so far, I think.
And that's going to really help with the timing, right? Yeah. Like having these extra longbows in and they're veteran. I think British should, and it's not like the longbows can be punished by something like cannons. Germany just don't have access to a 2 Falk shipment.
And Mitoe knows that the Jaegers are here because the Explorer just died. This is going to be a very interesting fight. There's a lot of war wagons.
I think British, like Germany has to take a fight and do well in it very soon because their advantage is that really powerful Fortress Age timing, right? Whereas British, like, they're up. They've got a ton of units here to defend, losing a Jaeger, and a big eco behind this. Germany has to do something now.
I wouldn't be shocked if Wickedcossack just resigns in the next minute because, you invest into Jaegers to basically, like, have a go-now moment, and he just peeked in and
saw that he couldn't handle it.
Realized there's no way I could take the fight. And veteran Hussar coming in right now.
It's just...
really...
there's, like, no Ulan to contest the longbows either. So... Yeah. And he's got vet Ulan, but, like, there's no Ulans here. This is just, like... It's not worked out. I think he had something in mind. That's so good. Look at all these goons and hussars.
Mitoe's done really well this game. Basically, I don't think he ever really felt any pressure at this point in the game. Look at the score lead. Like,
yeah. Well,
he's got 40 extra military power. Okay, this is going to be... I think Germany has to win this game, or to make this game a little bit closer at this point.
Yeah, an artillery foundry. He's got a Falcon Q. He'll need a few of them though to contest the longbows. But I think there's so much cav and so much dragoons that Falks won't be ideal, and longbows are even quite good against Falks because they have so much range. But these villagers on the mine, they're going to be attacked, and I don't think he can even get some cannons or too many cannons in queue because the villagers are being forced away from the mine. The longbowmen doing lots of damage to these war wagons. They have no range resist, remember. Really, when you've got... The range on these is so good, and like you have to be so careful about... If you want to take a fight, you have to know it, because you can't go in there and then back out. Okay, seize the foundry. There's 2 falconets in there, but I don't know if that's enough. And if Mitoe's being diligent, he'll put his goons and hussars really close to the foundry.
This is going to be a close fight, I think.
Is that it? Two falcons come out. The falcons are protected, but the longbows do focus one down with their really strong range, and now they tee up. Okay, they're not focusing the second one. He's just going to take it like a man. He's going to take volleys from that Falk here. But there's so many blue units here. That Falk, 51 HP, is going to town on the longbows, though. Falk does go down, and now it's just a bunch of war wagons, although there are Jaegers in there hidden behind.
I can't believe there's so many that much Jaegers left.
Yeah, they were hidden behind the war wagons.
Still, I don't see much follow-up for Germany here.
Yeah, he's not... I mean, British have, what, like, so much more economy than him. The Falks were good.
And these Vils don't see that mine, I guess. That's really unfortunate. And no villagers on gold right now.
Yeah, and he's just going to focus down that foundry. Just to make sure no surprise cannons come out, which could ruin his day. But this looks good, and they are veteran as well. If they can get on top of the longbows, that would be really nice. But there's so many goons there, and Ulans have so few hit points, they are just going to melt away really quickly. The Jaegers, though, doing their best to take down as many dragoons as they can. But I think that's it. That shipment didn't get him there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty well played by Mitoe there.
Mitoe pulling ahead. Still very close series. Yeah, I guess Germany just didn't manage to push, and even a mill in the back. They didn't get up to the fortress age and do as much damage as they sort of needed to do. Lost perhaps too many of those Ulans in the colonial age, and British just sort of feeling fine the whole time.
I think that's kind of the bad aspect of like doing a semi-FF as German versus Brit, is you give Brit so much time to get their manners up and their villager lead. Thing that I think, unfortunately, Wickedcossack missed scouting these 2 mines on the right. Wood right now, those villagers are tasked to trees. I think he just didn't see those 2 mines. Not that it would have a huge impact. He might have had 10 more Olin in that last fight.
Such is the way of
Pretty
things. You got to be diligent as Germany. You got to scout, and you only got the 1 scout. It's how that works. You got to look for your mines. I don't know. This one, I think we can. Cossack won't be too pleased with this one, but ultimately, still a very close series, and he can still play German. He's not lost it just yet. And now, Mitoe no longer has Brits, so that's out of the way. Let's head on out into the next game.
That was the least close game.
Yeah, that was the least close one so far, but
everything else has been really close.
There's still 2 games left in.
Yeah, I think Mitoe just had a really nice build that game. Those 2 XP treasures really helped. And
I want to take a look at the civilization selection screen a bit longer, just to see what civs they've picked. Okay, looks like Wickedcossack going to go British immediately, because I haven't been able to see. Maybe if I leave the game sooner, I'll be able to look at that screen for a bit longer. But I'd appreciate looking at it. Yeah. So Mitoe's played Germany, he's played Japan, and he's played British. This is match point now. If he wins this next game, he wins the series. But he can't play any of those civs that I mentioned. But he still has his secret weapon. He still has China, which is a really strong civ for him. Unlikely to see it here. Pampas is a non-trading post map. Wickedcossack, he's already used his India. That's his strongest civ there. The civ he likes to play the most. And he's also played with Dutch, so he can't play those. But, yeah, just catching up with the civ so far. Let's move back into the lobby. It looks like
Wickedcossack already locked his pick, even though he didn't have to. I think that was a little bit of a mental mistake. Just kind of
mind game it is.
He wanted to play.
Okay, showing his hand already. Mind you, it's not locked. Maybe this is fully intentional. He's like, yeah, right, that's a mind game it is. Yeah, give one. And then as soon as Mitoe picks his civ, because Mitoe has to pick first, Cossack can still change it.
Yeah, I think China wouldn't be a bad pick on this map. I mean, you do have the llamas and 2 scouts, especially considering if Brit is Wickedcossack's civ, then Mitoe has a scout advantage. But yeah, you're right. There's no trade post on here, which usually China.
It does seem like something Mitoe likes to build, right? We've seen in his earlier game as China, he went for a trading post and shopped for the village.
Yeah. But I've actually played with Mitoe quite a bit, even on this map, and he seems to like to do. I would not be surprised if he does the forward village and plays a lot of Age 2.
Yeah, just to remind everyone, this is a best of 7. It's the qualification round. All series are best of 5 except the ones that qualify you to come to the LAN, and this is one of those games. Whoever wins this will be attending the New World Championship. Oh dear, I dropped something. It's all fine. Yeah, so it's a best of 7. And Mitoe's locked British. No, he's playing British before. He has to pick first, pardon me. Mitoe having a good thonk. Mitoe having a good thonk. Let's go back to the civ selection screen for the benefit of the viewers, whilst Mitoe thinks maybe they also can, and we can strategize too.
Did he play France yet? I can't remember.
Mitoe has not played France yet.
Oh, did he play Dutch? I need that civ selection screen.
Yeah, let's bring it up, and I'll tell Soldier what we've got. Trouble is, they're not always listening to me, right? It's hard to get summon the civ selection screen when you want it. I summon the civ selection screen. I speaketh to you.
I was thinking you would have the power, yeah.
Oh, there it is. We found it. Okay, so Cossack, Mitoe has not played French or Dutch. He's not, so those are both on his mind. He's really having a good think.
But he actually, so he has French, Dutch, and China available.
Yeah, he has all of those.
I would say that those are probably his 3 main civs.
Yeah, it looks like Mito's selected Dutch. He said it in the chat. Let's switch back now. That makes a lot of sense, right? This is a good map for the Dutch. And now Wickedcossack. He's already sort of revealed that he's going to go British. Hold on a moment. Hold on. SoldieR, I actually think Mitoe... Actually, I think Wickedcossack deliberately picked British first. Because this is a good matchup for British, right? And if he just picks British first, knowing full well that Mitoe can play Dutch into Pampas, you really deter him from doing that. You might force Mitoe to not go Dutch just because you've already declared that you want to play British. And then suddenly Mitoe might not play Dutch when it's otherwise a very good civ to take on this map. And then Wickedcossack can play whatever civ he feels like. He's denied the Dutch game without having to do anything. I think it was fully I think he fully mind gamed it.
You might be getting a little... What's that movie called? What's that movie where there's dreams inside dreams?
Inception, yeah.
Interception.
Interjection,
inception. I don't know, man. That's in depth. That could be true. I couldn't really follow. But
I think Wickedcossack wanted to deny the Dutch. Here he doesn't want Mitoe playing Dutch. He wants to make him pick a civ that's just like some other civ that's, because Dutch is really good on this map. So Cossack just declares Brits before he has to. That's basically my point. But who knows? Yeah. That is what's happened. But we are now clicking in to game number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Game number 6. Yes, I can count. I was counting how many victories they had in this best of 7 series. The score is 3-2. Mitoe has just taken the lead. He was on 2-2. He's pulled ahead, and now this is match point. If Wickedcossack cannot take a victory here, Mitoe will end the series and progress through, and will be declared a player in the LAN. Let's start with Mitoe. Here he is in the south of the map, in the color teal, cyan, light blue. I keep saying all these colors. I really have no idea. I should settle on one so that I don't have to say all 3 at the start of every map. But immediately we see the Envoy and the Scout. I really like their trajectories. The Envoy, slightly slower unit, going to take the safer back llamas, and the faster Explorer can be more aggressive on trying to take his opponent's forward llamas. Wickedcossack, I think, yeah, he took him. No, he didn't get a treasure. I thought he slowed down to get a treasure. It just feels like...
Interjection. I'm going to just let you... But there's a side hunt, and Mitoe's got a side hunt, but not really a back hunt.
Okay, we can rehost.
That's I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't want to take any chances.
It just felt like, yeah, I don't know. I felt like...
It's good to be safe. That's, whilst I'm babbling on about what they're doing in the early game, it's good to have you here to double check things like that. And I'm pleased that you're able to bring it up.
You okay? Yeah, I guess that was a Mitoe. Still, you don't want to have a guy say, "Oh, I'm okay with it," and then later on he ends up 1 hunt too short.
Yeah.
In a dire situation.
But we're getting back into this.
I'm going to catch some flack for that in the chat. They're going to be yelling at me. But...
Diaroga's going to be like, "That was a fine map." Blah 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 blah. Yeah. You can't win. Like there's going to be like 50% of people that are going to be like, "Yeah, that was a good call, SoldieR. I'm pleased you're there." And 50% of people that are going to be like, "Nah, that was yeah." You can't win. Oh, but I should thank Alex the Cat for donating $1 and Give You Anxiety $1 and Lucas $1 and Alex the Cat another $1. Thank you very much, everyone. Earlier for the original request $1 donation has been successful. So thank you very much for that. But Wickedcossack, let's see.
I like to spawn more. Let me just start off with that, saying that I think it's better.
Yeah, this is much better. Yeah, this is much better. I agree. I'll go ahead and introduce the players. Here we have Mitoe in the south of the map here in the color teal, playing as the Mitoe. That's what he is, the Mitoe, absolutely. And here we have Envoy, this time taking a slightly different approach to scouting here. Instead of having the Explorer go straight for the middle and contest like the forwarder llamas, he's just going to use his Envoy here to grab instead. And instead, he's going to go treasuring in the middle of the map there. So actually, Mitoe, this time taking a slightly different approach. He's going to try and get the first picks, and he might be successful. There's a nice big juicy wood treasure down to the south there if he can get eyes on it. But this is a little bit awkward. The British explorer really contesting these llamas. He's ignored his back too, in favor of just getting more aggressively far forward to kind of contest the slower Envoy here. Envoy babysitting this llama home. And Mitoe hasn't...
Why is he didn't crack one of these?
I guess he could do that, but I think he's going to be pleased he didn't, because this is a really nice treasure that definitely needs a crack shot.
Did he see it, though? Did he see it?
Yes, he has seen it with Control-Shift-F on. So that is a treasure he can go for. I think probably quite preoccupied making sure the llamas get home and are not stolen. But when he checks the treasure in that location, his Explorer will probably head back there. By the looks of it, he's scouting with a llama? I really like it, but he's going to lose it here. It's sort of risky because you don't know where your opponent's Explorer is.
Sorry to talk over you, but I think Mitoe really was trying to find a native warrior treasure, because there are that does happen on this map, spawn on this map. I think most times, but there isn't one over there, so I don't think he even used his crack shot at all, which is kind of surprising.
Well, he wants the Humunka treasure
to maybe deny the tower, but
yeah, force it to stay at home. That is a really strong treasure for sure. Isn't going to find it though, and it doesn't always spawn, so that is a risky move to take. Instead, going to go for a cow treasure here, and I guess it's easy enough to take. And it manages to pick up those back two llama. That's really nice. Cossack being so aggressive earlier on, he didn't go back to get the two behind his base. And instead, Mitoe going to pick those up. And the one that he was scouting with. Mitoe has 6 llamas, and British suddenly has none, although there are 2 dead ones on the floor. Matten, 109, donating $6 there. Awesome production. Thank you for the great casting. Thank you, Matten.
Wickedcossack going a 16 village up here with just 1 mana, so this is a little bit earlier, even though Mitoe is actually up even faster.
Yeah, Mitoe playing as the Dutch, so you can always expect them to age a bit quicker. Now coming back for that wood treasure. That's going to be really handy. Often it's kind of hard, as we keep saying with Dutch, to get that bank down and queue a vill, and that wood treasure going to make that so much more easy.
So I want to just go over the matchup real quick. I think public opinion is going to say that this is a Brit favored matchup, but yeah, I think it's pretty close.
And the betting does kind of say that as well. 61% to 39% in favor of Wickedcossack playing British, and we think British is the stronger civ in this matchup.
It's interesting. This is a really I understand that this is for line of sight. And I want to also point out that Wickedcossack has skipped the market yet again. This is a theme with him. I'm starting to see that he get the market and well, at least the upgrades off of the 700 wood. He's eating a llama right here, like really necessary.
Yeah, it looks like he's got something.
This fills up to something right here.
And aging with 500 food rather than an outpost and a tower. So to me, this screams of he wants to be aggressive, right?
Proxy stable, but
and that makes, but it's scouted.
Ooh.
And
yeah, he started building it. He started building it, so it's already scouted. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6 HP, so it did get scouted. So Mitoe going to see that stable, and I think Wickedcossack eating all those llama just deliberately to, have a stronger, really early timing, because they do fatten over time, but deciding he wants to be aggressive, but the stable gets scouted just by Mitoe happening to be there.
Scouted again immediately.
Mitoe very diligent, coming with his envoy just to make sure what the shipments are and to see that. But looks like if it went unscouted, he was happy to do like a side stable and just be really aggressive. But instead, just going to build it at home where it usually would be built.
That's a line of sight house right there. Really nice.
Yeah, just to make sure. I mean, because if you finish that stable over here, your opponent just goes, oh, all right, 8 pikes, and ships that.
Yeah, yeah. So
you have to have it
finally, the market going up for British here. What's even more why this line of sight house on the right is really nice is that Mitoe knows Wickedcossack started stable, so it's not like you're gonna worry about that house getting sieged down by some pikemen or anything.
Yeah, it's not like longbow pikes coming after you, that's true. And just like denying another angle of attack for the hussars, you know they can only come at you. They can't come at you from here. They can only come at you from this direction and on the front.
Mitoe scouting these 5 hus again. You're scouting everything basically right as soon as it happens so far this game.
Mitoe on point.
Look at this meat wall right here.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, they can't be converted because next to buildings. And yeah, they function as a wall. That's really funny. But the snare from the Explorer there. But they do manage to... No, he's going to have to take that fight. And it's not great because there's an Explorer mixed in there. Cossack moving that low HP one, doing it again. Being very diligent. But with the Explorer mixed into this fight, Mitoe is at a disadvantage. But he had to take the fight.
Away from it, though. So he's going to lose the fight. By actually a whole hussar.
A whole hussar and a bit.
And a little bit more.
And there's another 4 hussar following this up from Wickedcossack. And makes a lot of sense because of those llamas that he's eating, just going to keep pumping them. And now he's got his hunting dogs there. Perhaps delaying his...
Steel traps, yeah.
Delaying his market upgrades just to make sure he gets his husk batches out or something like that. I don't know, but... Either way, building manors is almost as good as making houses. I don't think it makes too much difference. Calling Minutemen just to hold here. Villager goes into the TC. There's only 1 huss. But there's quite a lot of huss here with that extra 4 and winning that fight really nicely. That's 2 more hussars do pop. And with the TC fire, this should be enough to force Cossack out of his base.
Oh, did you notice this livestock pen?
Yeah, I think it's just gone up, but the meat wall is currently...
Not on it, yeah.
Did he just pick that a stray llama, and these
Yeah.
Yeah, he's now going to bring his the meat wall over. And that explains why he wanted the cow treasure with all these llamas that he got as well and picking up the llama treasure. Yeah. This is really strong, penning all of this. In fact, there's not enough space at that livestock pen for all of those. Oh no, there's 11 animals and only 10 slots.
But it's kind of interesting. It's kind of late for, you don't usually see a livestock pen start, like basically it got built at 8 minutes. That's when the test to it. So that's kind of late. Usually if you do that in a high level game, it's usually
kind of earlier on.
In the H2, yeah.
Yeah. But llamas have a bit more food in them than say sheep. So maybe that's okay to build it now. And also as Dutch, you want to get all of your banks down. 3 banks first off the 700 wood in the bank wagon, and then you don't really have any spare wood to build a livestock pen. So this is kind of the earliest you can build it without delaying your banks. So
yeah, that's true. And it's going to be, I'm just saying it's going to look, to me it looks like it's a more long-term, maybe like this game is, he does not expecting this game to end before 20 minutes, I don't think, for that to really fully pay off. But it's going to help him whenever he does send 700 coin. It's going to help him fund those animals to help him age up really quickly.
Yeah, and it's like a whole extra herd, right? Once they're all fully fattened with 400 in each, it's like he's got a whole extra hunt in his base in terms of food. Skirms out on the front. Pike's popping.
Ooh, that's a really good amount of pikemen right now. And this, I mean, that's what, 8 pike and this 13 pikemen. So for Wickedcossack, you have to make the decision, either drop another racks to get 2 at a time. Oh, he ships 6 musk. Okay.
Cossack being very, very aggressive here. A lot of cav and training musketeers, shipping a few more. But Mitoe scouts it yet again. He's going to see all of this stuff and heading straight back. He sees all the units.
Yeah, now this gets basically into the same type of this type of situation we saw a couple times in the series already, where the base building is going to be so influential in the rest of the game. Because, I mean, as Wickedcossack, when you invest in 6 musketeers as a shipment, you want to try to make use of that. But and like seeing 13 pikemen and the base that's built up for Mitoe push in, especially with what happened earlier in that game on Deccan, like there's no way he's going to push into this Dutch base, right?
Yeah, it's very well built. These trees going to cause any units entering. Those hussars are a real problem. Small chokes, we saw those are not. Those are Wickedcossack's super effective weakness. And otherwise, and more trees on this side. It's just a very, very well built base. And look at these hunts in the back of it. It's so perfect. Like, it's just so perfect. And he's got the llamas there as well. Dutch is just like... I mean, British has the eco lead, just because Brits always will, because it's Brits. But with this really nice base, he's got, you know, eventually he'll be up to Fortress, where Dutch will be better than British. He'll get up there quickly and have access to skirmishes quite quickly as well. That'll be really strong. And those llamas are now fattening up. You can see villagers switching onto them. And now these gather at 2 food per second rather than the steel-trapped and hunting-dogged villages, which only gather at 1 per second from hunts once you've got the upgrades in. So these 4 vills is like an extra 4 vills gathering.
Yeah, this food, okay, now it's really like, man, and continuing to build the base even more, like, constricting for fights. Interesting how Mitoe's trying to read what's happening right now. That's why his military's out there, but it's kind of not what that's really not good, because Wickedcossack has invested fully in H2. He has cavalry hit points, and he does not want to fight unless he's in his own base.
Big hussar raid coming in from just 2 hussars there. But yeah, maybe he thought, like, he hadn't seen Cossack for a while. I think Wickedcossack just trying to stay hidden and maybe make Mitoe think that he's aging up, and then Mitoe will push out thinking that his opponent's aging. And
there we go.
Not the case. But yeah, a couple of villagers are going to go down. They are forced off the mine there. And we are going to see a fight in the base.
He's pushing in.
He's got
Here we go again.
Team infantry hit points for Mitoe.
He's looking pretty good.
We've got Cav HP as well for Cossack here. This looks pretty good. There's the pikes not on top of the hussars. They're in the sort of wrong spot there. Musk's going to take them down quickly. And now the cav line is almost gone. But there's not a lot of red cav left, so these skirms will be fine. And skirmish is going to be really solid against these musks. So actually, I think Mitoe holding just fine here. The skirmish is not threatened at all. Colonial militia coming in.
Shipment.
Just being, like, exceptionally safe, right? Any reinforcing batches of,
he
like...
actually saved it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's... I mean, it's like a unit shipment almost, isn't it?
Actually, these Hussar have so much HP, they're still on the skirms, and there's more coming.
Yeah, so he actually absolutely needed it. Just being super safe. Does have a batch of 4 Huss of his own there.
Man, those... Wow. That was actually not that bad of a fight for Wickedcossack.
Yeah, it went much better than I thought it would. And the Colonial Militia felt like a bit of an overreaction, but actually coming in clutch to save the skirms and really force Cossack out of his base. But okay, let's reassess. So Mitoe has dealt with the Age 2 pressure. I think now that that's sort of over, he's probably going to want to go straight up to the Fortress Age. But it could be kind of difficult to do that because he's just spent a shipment. He can't send like 700 gold or something and go up quick. And gathering, well, he's got a lot of gold to go. He does have, you know, quite a number of banks, but he's no mine in base here. He's looking for... It's going to be a while before he can get up. And British behind this...
I think it's right now.
Oh, no, okay, it's right there. Right. I guess he got a lot of XP from that big fight. Okay, so now he's fine. I was a bit worried that he wouldn't be able to get up there, but 700 coin can allow him to age. And this is where Dutch will be really, really strong with those really strong skirmishes and get out Reuters. And Skirm Reuter is going to just hard counter Muskhus. And that's exactly what Dutch wants. But behind this, British does have a much stronger economy, right? 66 villages to 48. So that's the British bonus. But some of that will be mitigated by Mitoe reaching the Fortress Age.
I want to mention... Wickedcossack is definitely staying Age 2 for the long term, and I want to mention because of that late market, he probably forgot to get Gang Saw and still does not have it. I was wondering if he had the second wood upgrade already, but he still doesn't even have Gang Saw. He's got 27 villagers on wood.
That's painful. You could have, like, it'd be 2.7 extra vills with Gang Saw, and it's only 100 food. That's kind of awkward. But Mitoe coming in again and is going to push these vills off the coin. And Mitoe has a bit of a coin problem. Thankfully, he's Dutch and has a lot of banks. And Wickedcossack locking down these mines with an outpost. In fact, 2 outposts. Really taking control of the map here aggressively.
Yeah. A lot of mines across the middle of the map. But like,
I mean, Dutch really...
Wickedcossack, if he holds onto the map, he's going to be mining and herding forever. Like, build any plantations or mills. And Mitoe, he does have another hunt here.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So the food doesn't seem to be a problem for Mitoe at the moment, but the coin kind of does. I mean, again, he's Dutch, so the banks are great, but the units... And okay, so that's all 5 banks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to help out a bit. But Dutch units cost so much coin, right? The Reuter, 75 coin and only 30 food. The Skirmisher, well, we all know 50 food and 65 coin, right? It's still kind of coin heavy. All of Dutch's stuff is quite coin heavy, and without the coin, this could be troublesome. But 5 banks, I think, gonna probably be what he needs.
Wickedcossack has 70 villagers.
Yeah,
that's
quite
quite a bit.
But still no gang saw.
7.
Look at this, another like super aggressive outpost. He just doesn't want to lose his vills, and just by building these outposts, he's going to keep them all super safe, control the map, and if he can keep all those vills alive, he'll just out-eco. You can see he's ahead on score.
Yeah.
He'll out-eco Dutch and hopefully sort of win in the long game.
Yeah, I think the outpost on this outpost is more for the effect that it's having right now, which is seeing when Mitoe's trying to sneak resources, and that's really nice. This is gonna probably kill 2 or 3 vills. Big, important fight.
Mitoe not wanting to take that just yet. Probably want to get veteran Hussar in before he takes a fight too, which he doesn't have just yet.
Oh man, I just keep thinking of the wood upgrade that's missing on these Britvilles. Like, I know, one of the only civs you want to get that upgrade like every single game. Yeah,
and maybe even log flume afterwards as well. Yeah, I know it's really. I was thinking exactly that, but he's done it. He's done it. He's finally gotten his upgrade in. Okay, well it's a little bit late, but Gangsaw now coming in. Oh, a foundry. Let's switch over to units in queue. And well, it's obviously going to be falconets. Looks like Mitoe coming to reclaim this coin mine with his army. But there's a lot of vills there. And they're all kind of exposed, but thankfully 7 longbows being aged at the outpost, and his army's nearby, so the vills are actually perfectly safe. He doesn't have greatcoats, though. I'd like to see greatcoats. That's a really cheap upgrade. Yeah, Vet Huss finally coming in for Mitoe too. And he's just going to siege this down and reclaim some of the coin that he's going to need.
Yeah, I don't know if Mitoe's going to really try anything before this Vet longbow, which is being researched before that comes in. His army just looks kind of small. And Vet Huss coming in right now for Wickedcossack.
Wickedcossack building a mill as well. This is a consistent theme with him playing this tournament. He's been very safe with his villagers. He's just super safe, right? Towers, mills nearby so they don't get killed. But there's so much hunt on the map that I do wonder if the mill is worthwhile. It doesn't feel very good at the moment. But
what's interesting
that is his decision.
The aging up for Brit here gave the map back to Dutch, really. I mean, look at, like, you have vills over here now. You're not confident enough to be on hunts because you had to age up.
No. For a second there.
Actually, that's a lot of vills. So he still is hunting, but he's got 70 vills, so I guess a mill is okay, just to make sure you have consistent food.
To sort of start the transition early as well. And this location is not safe, really. You'd lose a lot of vills trying to gather there, so actually just being out on this side, away from all of the action, kind of seems fine. And there's an outpost nearby, too, to garrison in. And Mitoe just sort of roaming around the middle of the map. Now, I think, with cavalry combat, that's why he's not really forced any fights. It's now coming in, and 15% attack and hit points on his Reuter and Hussar is probably what he was waiting for. And I'd expect the shipment after that will be infantry combat for the skirmishers too. But that manor house does scout the army, and that's going to give the villagers a little bit of forward notice. But Greatcoats is now just coming in, which could save quite a few of these villagers. He's going to lose a couple.
Oh, boy.
And this only highlights...
What's just happening right now?
Reuter's going to get stuck. Cavalry combat coming in for British.
Upgrades on the British Hussar. From the Arsenal, too. I mean, these Hussar are really strong.
Oh, yeah, Cavalry Cuirass in there. I didn't notice the Arsenal.
And Mitoe is getting the Ranged Dragoon upgrade, Caracal.
Ranged Cavalry Caracal, yeah.
I wonder if I'm actually surprised. Oh, there it is now. The Arsenal's being used for the longbow upgrade as well.
Here we go. No one wanting to take a fight. Going back to the trees there, those longbows and cannons really nicely set up, but the goons walking into the cavalry. That's not ideal. But there are 2 falconets here, and those skirmishers not going to be pleased about that. And these Huss and goons, there's no way to get towards them in the back there. Though side cavalry coming in here, they are going to get one of the falcons, and they found a nice opening on top of the longbowmen whilst these Huss are all engaged down the side here. But Mitoe sort of running out of units. There's a lot of red cavalry here, but the Reuters, there's still quite a few of them with Caracal as well. Gonna clean that up, but taking damage in melee against the Huss. Is going to be able to take out one of the falcons, but British still in a solid spot here. And one falcon still alive there as well. So British, I think, coming out ahead in that fight.
Yeah. There's a lot of upgrades on these British units.
Yeah, cavalry hit points, cavalry combat. British Dragoons are really solid at this point. And no skirmisher combat yet for Mitoe either.
Wickedcossack has every arsenal upgrade for his units right now.
Infantry breastplate on the longbowman. Yeah, really making sure that this is a good fight for him to take. Goons trying to get onto the falconet. 1 volley, but not going to be enough.
And right now, an extremely valuable 5 Huss shipment coming in for Wickedcossack. Ooh, this is a little sad.
A couple of goons astray, but he's dominating this fight. He would definitely be he'd really like to have those dragoons here. He could even chase the skirmishers down with them and perhaps use melee mode on the goons just to let the longbowmen sort of clean this up.
7 Hussar in queue for Mitoe, 8 now, and they're going to snipe this falconet for sure.
Yeah. And there's 5, there's 4 of them there. Oh my goodness! 4 plus a big batch from 2 stables. That's a big swing, and there's a ton of longbowmen here. And the goons, they're out of position, right? They're standing over here. There's not enough Huss to really stop this. Mitoe resigns, though. It's still not enough. There's enough Hussar and goons here to handle it. And it looks like Cossack will even it up to 3-3. What a series! Oh my goodness!
For my buddy.
Yeah. Well,
I'm telling you, this is really close series right now, and
every game. Cossack is performing very well. In fact, both of these players, people I've spent hundreds of hours in Discord with, hanging out with, so both of them like very, very good friends of mine, and I honestly cannot say who I would prefer to win. In fact, I'm the caster. I have to be completely unbiased. The only thing I'm pleased with is that this is 3-3. This is an exceptional series, and we're going to see game number 7, the decider. I'm gonna head on out now because I want to look at the Civ selection screen. I want plenty of time for that. I don't want to look at the post game. I just want to see the Civs. Okay, so Cossack cannot play India, Dutch, or British. Mitoe cannot play Germany, British, or Japan. But Mitoe does have China available, which we all know is one of his strongest civs.
Yeah, I want to say about that last game, another game that impressed me about Wickedcossack is he's not forgetting the mid/late game things, like getting all 3 upgrades for his dragoons, his longbow, and his hussar. He's not slacking in like any aspect of the game.
Yeah, the only thing he struggles with is market upgrades. Actually, against Reese, he can consistently forgot to get placer mines, and this game he apparently forgot to get, it would seem, gang saw. But yeah, Cossack doing all the right things, and even like early switches into plantations and mills. Just to, like, when you would normally think this is not good, mills are bad, he builds them anyway, but, like, you see, like, how many villages you can sort of save just because your villas are not anywhere forward. Wicked Cossack has to pick first. He has elected Portuguese on a water map. Florida.
Oh. This last series, I think I can't remember if he won or lost.
I need to go to the loo. I can't stand it. I have to go before. I'm just going to say bathroom in the chat. And I'll be back in a moment. I'll leave you to entertain the stream.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. Well, Mitoe does have the advantage here, picking second. How the games went and who won first, and that last game, Wicked Cossack winning. Interesting game, picking ports on Florida. It's going to give him quite a few options, and it's going to make it really hard for picks. It's going to make it hard for him to read what Wicked Cossack is doing, because he can, with the starting market, you can probably buy his way trade post right away and afford that, letting that afford him to send schooners. And what we saw in the Baja game, 2 early docks as India, and that actually working out in the long term, which potentially could be Mitoe's Civ pick here. And there's also a potential mind game here where picking port on a water map, Mitoe surely expecting some water play, will have the opportunity to just kind of switch that up on him. So it's a tough situation for Mitoe to.
All right, I'm back.
Pick what he's going to do here. And I was just talking about the potential for Wicked Cossack to go water here, but also the potential that's there for him to not go water, with Mitoe assuming there's going to be some water play. So a little bit of mind game there.
Mitoe, you consulting with Dictator. Dictator being one of the strongest treaty player. PR 40, PR 55, not PR, treat. When the minutes you can't attack. People know what I'm saying.
No rush 40?
No rush 40, there we go. Or no rush 55. But I think Wicked Cossack just throwing out the banter.
You know, he might actually be talking about a game earlier in this tournament where Kanice versus Dictator was, and Kanice went H5 with a bunch of walls and ended up beating Conqueror in that matchup on this map. Assuming Mitoe wants to go China, but asking, joking about, oh, what did Dictator do versus Kanice in that matchup on the map? But this is gonna, man.
I'm really interested to see the decks. I really like how prepared Wicked Cossack is for this series.
I'm gonna try to think of this if I was in this situation.
It seems, whilst you think, it seems that like Wicked Cossack was so, like against Reese, it was a bit all over the place, and Reese, a good player, but not on the same level as Mitoe. But here against Mitoe, he's really keeping up, and in fact, could even take this off him. It's going to come down to this final game, and Wicked Cossack out of nowhere being incredibly well prepared and able to match Mitoe in skill. There's only been one game that Cossack, I think, didn't perform so well in this whole series.
Yeah.
Other than that one game on High Plains, this has been an exceptionally close game. China coming out.
There it is. Oh, the same matchup, same map as Kanice versus Dictator earlier in this tournament. Oh, that Wicked. Well, I don't really know because I don't know anything about Wicked Cossack. Maybe he can wall just like Kanice. Maybe he will wall enough and take this to H5.
Well, it seems like Cossack is like Wicked Cossack performs very well in the late game, right? We've seen him against Reese go exceptionally late game. He was sort of behind the whole series, it felt like, but still came out ahead just because of his late game prowess almost. And earlier in this series, when he played India, he was deliberately going to the late game with those 3 Age 1 shipments. What a game, man. Like, he sent the dock wagon that makes boats cheaper rather as well. And we saw Advanced Wonders and, just trying to take the game really long. And then that British game we just watched a moment ago, Cossack did all the right things, right? You were quite impressed with, throughout this series, his base building and making sure he had all the upgrades. So I think Wicked Cossack would be prepared to go to H5 like Kanisi. I don't know. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll do something else. But I'm just saying he's not afraid to play the long game. But really, anything could happen. But Mitoe, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 7 in a best of 7. The winner of this series will qualify for the Escape New World Championships. A $50 donation coming in from Alex the Cap. Donate $1 hashtag. Yes, that's $50, but thank you very much for that. Coming in at exactly the right moment in this final game. 3-3. Mitoe played China earlier and lost against Wicked Cossack's strongest civ, India. But China is Mitoe's strongest civ, and he is playing it again. This is coming down to the wire, this first qualification series of the tournament. There's 8 of these. 8 people have to qualify. So if that doesn't earn you our subscription, I don't know what will. But here he is, Mitoe, in the bottom of the map, in the color teal, playing as indeed the China. You start with a goat. He has a market because it's Florida and can quite easily get his hunting dogs. Pardon me, well, they're not called hunting dogs for China, but we all know what I'm saying. The monk here looks like it's standing to build the trading post, and there's going to be a sheep right next to that as well. And behind his base, he's got a 30 coin treasure. Just going to scout the back of his base with that goat that you start with here. Nice and safe. And Sudan Chez coming in with 100 bitties. Thank you very much for that as well. The hype train is real today in this final game. However, his opponent, Wicked Cossack, up in the north of the map, playing as the Portuguese. I'm very excited to see what his deck will look like. Will it have much boats and water capabilities? We will have to find out when he sends his first shipment, which could be some time as Portuguese. But Soldier flaring the 135 coin treasure. Are you expecting a crack shot on that?
I was. Knowing that Mitoe is building a TP, I was expecting that, but looks like he's I don't know if he's just trying to find the enemy explorer. Okay, Wicked Cossack chopped for hunting dogs is coming in right now. Mitoe's got 6 sheep already.
That's quite good, actually. I should switch over to... I'm on shipment sent for some reason. Let's go to all units there. That's definitely the better one. 6 sheep. That's a really, really nice.
That's the first crack shot right there. A little bit late. I'm surprised. And Wicked Cossack really hasn't done anything with this explorer yet. Didn't get any sheep.
But there are still 4 undiscovered sheep, right? Like, there's one here. New donation, $100 coming in from Purple Squid. Canada hype. Canada hype indeed. Of course, Mitoe from Canada. Thank you very much for the $100 donation. It is what allows us to keep going. So we appreciate all kinds of support. But yes, what were you... There's still uncollected sheep, right? There's one that he could still get to. So it looks like Mitoe quite far ahead here, and that's going to be really good for him because the village allows you to fatten them, although slower than a livestock pen. It seems like he's winning Age 1 quite convincingly, and going to pick up 80 wood as well. Just going to hammer down this pirate.
Take a look at Wicked Cossack's deck. They have kind of late game decks, but there's really no economic upgrade cards in either deck.
No, this is a water deck through and through. The potential he has for late game is, I guess, Eco Theory, but that's hard to not put in. And, of course, Schooners way over 35% on boats. And Advanced Dock really signals that he's looking to do something water-orientated, unless it's just there to throw Mitoe off. But I don't think it is. I think we're expecting something water-orientated from Wicked Cossack. Mitoe's deck, again, as you say, does have lots of sort of that industrial age unit shipments. New subscriber, thank you, Kahensky. When you say Mitoe, I think Kahensky is a name that goes hand in hand. Thank you for the subscription.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we right now? Okay, we have Schooners coming in already for Wicked Cossack.
So fully signaling
pretty standard stuff, and really no market upgrades other than hunting. Well, okay. Looks like Wicked Cossack did not forget Gangsaw today. He's already completed it. Or not today, but this game.
Super early. Yes, Soldier, he forgot it earlier in the series, don't you remember? But yes, he's got it this game. And coming back for that 135 coin treasure that he crack-shotted earlier, going to be really, really nice. But Wicked Cossack, Dock coming down now, and of course Schooner's already in, as we mentioned, fully intending to water boom by the looks of it here.
Yep.
But it is going to be scouted by Mitoe, very diligent. He's going to check the coastline for things like this with his disciple, and he's going to see the dock. So Mitoe will be prepared, and he'll know it's coming. And
Oh,
likewise,
no. Oh, God. I don't know if I like this. He's doing the same thing Dictator did, not building the Wonder with any villagers and doing a very fast FF with no shipments. I'm disappointed he doesn't have any market upgrades in queue yet with all the resources to do so and the free market. God.
that's true.
I gotta say, I feel like
You're a little bit worried for him, are you? You're like in the Portuguese position with docks and stuff. But Mitoe, though, he's seen the fishing boats, and I'm sure Mitoe knows how to react to that. Looks like he's going to build in an extra trading post as a reaction to the water boom, just to sort of keep up, and possibly even... I don't think he can get these ones. This map sort of, most of the time, it spawns in such a way that the two... trading posts next to each town center cannot be built by your opponent because they're within radius, and that is by design. So a stagecoach might not be ideal because he's not going to be able to keep up in the same way that we saw on Baja, California, although there is that German consulate for the trickles. Perhaps he'll go with that. But yes, this is looking very similar to that previous game versus India where he decided to go super slow age up, but have all his villagers gathering so that we can get to age 3 without having to send a 700 gold.
So what I want to mention here is what I mentioned in that India game, that Wicked Cossack had the early TP, and because he did send those kind of unique and uncommon Age 1 shipments, the Wonder card and then the something else, he sent 3 Age 1 shipments, but you look at Mitoe right now, he's stacking 2 shipments still. Yeah. And, you know, he's not using anything, and he's getting up to Age 2 later, so he's sending all his Age 2 shipments later. The 700 woods are going to be later. And you look at the economy already, a bunch of ships already. He's got 11 fishing boats, and there's no pressure on it. I feel like there's not ever going to be pressure on it, just because the way that Mitoe plays, he's never really going to fully pressure water. And
he's going to focus.
We've seen what Knies does when there's no water pressure on this very map in this tournament already. You don't pressure the water, and you let Portuguese get to like 70 villager count by like 10 minutes. Like, it's really hard to counter that.
Okay, we'll have to see what Mitoe does. I'll check his deck in a moment, but 1,000 bitties coming in from Bausetti IRL. Thank you very much for that. And Soldier, you're a little bit concerned then that Mitoe not going to focus on water. Let's take a look at his deck.
Villager.
He does have 2 fire junks, war junks, pardon me, in his deck, so he can send that, and when now that he's age 2, perhaps he'll use those to contest, but otherwise, no other water cards here. But perhaps fighting on land will be enough if he's quick. But you are right to bring up what Kanisi can do, a very experienced water player. And I think Wicked Cossack going to be pleased with China's lack of ability to perhaps send warships and pressure. But to perhaps ease your worriness, we do see a dock coming down from Mitoe, so he does intend to construct warships here.
Okay, and what's interesting here is, and what's different from a Knies game, is that there's no town center on the shore. There's no walls in Wicked Cossack's base. Going up, and Mitoe is aging up quite a bit ahead in age 3. I'm very curious as to what Mitoe is going to send or make on the water.
Yeah, let's take a look at units in queue. But Wicked Cossack now up. Oh, the fire junks.
Yeah,
they're
those are really effective at killing fishing boats.
Yeah, they've got 2 area damage. They just walk up to like a bunch of fishing boats like this, and they'll just kill all 4 of them, right? All of these, they're very, very strong. And also shipping 2 war junks as well, and now going to push with those. So is going to do some damage on water, but that town center from Portuguese looks like it will be up in time. And it's scouted by a forward. That's really nice. Forward fishing boat from Mitoe to signal this. Does kill
3 of them.
Does get, but can he get, and gets 2 more there as well. Can he get another one before they go into the... Yeah, he is going to... No!
Well, he's trying to take some damage on the TC.
Yeah, but this...
he's got to get out of there.
He's going to use the broadside attacks on that, and now that it's up, he has to get out of here. And the docks, they've got anti-ship damage because of all the fishing boats inside. But if he just stations these boats outside, you know, the water can't... The fish can't come too further down with these... Although he's going to want to repair it at the dock there. He's going to finish up this one fishing boat that's quite far forward. But he killed quite a few fishing ships with the war junks. Pardon me, the fire boats. I keep calling them war junks.
Well, I mean, when you really think about it, they cost, what, the fishing boats cost 40 wood, so, and they train so quick with schooners. It's like, was that even really cost effective? I don't know. It's nice to kill them, but they can be replaced very easily. Yeah,
frigate coming out by Wickedcossack as his first Fortress Age shipment. He is now up to the Fortress Age, and that's going to repel the war junks, which are both in need of repair, but only one can be repaired at a time next to the dock, and I think the frigate, fully intending to push forward, this dock has no fishing boats inside it, so it can't shoot back, and this frigate will be very effective because there's no supporting fire, and also no outposts, well, no castle on the side here to defend. Frigate comes forward, it's going to see the war junks.
Wow, it's getting it, like...
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the broadsides have renewed on those boats, and he's used up the broadsides and now getting back.
It took a lot of unnecessary damage.
Yeah, frigate took a lot of damage there, but it can just shoot at this dock without being punished. There's no fishing boats, but now Dragoon's coming out for Wickedcossack. Shipment of 5, and he's trained some as well from his stables. 1,000 gold on the... Looks like Mitoe intending to go Fortress Age here.
Does need some units, though. He'll be able to hold this Dragoon push. It's interesting.
Frigate's returned home to repair now that the dock is... Well, it's not down. He just did some damage there. But perhaps worried about being sniped by fireboats or something. Gonna park these two war junks outside the fishing ships. Frigate currently repairing. And Goon's not able to do too much either. So China have a very, very powerful industrial age, and he has just dropped the age up there. Let's take a look at text being researched. Going up with the Confucius Academy. And with those 2 trading posts this whole game, I think he's going to have a very solid industrial age. But the worry is it going to be enough because of this fishing economy?
Yeah, well, a couple things here. Mitoe is saving his shipment. He's going to, by the time he gets up to age 4, he'll have 2 available. And another thing is, to when Wickedcossack was playing India on Baja, he's not like over making his fishing boats, but I think in this case it's actually a mistake. I think if he fully took advantage of the schooner's train time reduction, he could have another 20 fishing boats right now. And as water, it's not going to be contested for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I think he could have another 20 villagers basically right now.
Perhaps he will.
Much better position.
I wonder if he was waiting, like, to secure the water again before investing so hard in fishing boats. Perhaps that's something he can do sort of now. You're absolutely right to bring schooners up because of that reduction in fishing boat trains team. That's train time. But the 2 frigates, they've taken out the dock, and he's really secured the water. A second frigate being trained. Very expensive boat, 500 wood and 500 gold. But China now up to the industrial age. And we're going to see... And repelling volley coming in as well, to give the arquebusier ×3 versus musketeers, an extra times multiplier, a whole extra 1, and I'm sure we'll see those guard upgrades come in very soon for Mitoe as well.
It's a lot of units.
It is a lot of units, and there's nothing on land here, right? So China has a massive land army.
And this is exactly kind of what I was saying is, like, Wickedcossack doesn't have a super, super good eco, but he could have, like, I think he could, but he just didn't train extra fishing boats.
Yeah, let's see what this is a good timing for Mitoe then. But behind this, Wickedcossack also going up to the industrial age. So if he can get there, he too will be industrial. But he's going to pay through the nose for it, right? These units just going to tear through his houses. $2 coming in from Mario Priz, 50. Thank you very much. Just tearing through these houses, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Wickedcossack plans to put his Freetown Center for Age 4. Need to get some type of resource security over here by these mines, hunts. So I think he might sneak it off that way.
Looks like he's going to siege down the TP. Perhaps he sees the industrial age in. Went up with the engineer for 2 organ guns.
Oh,
and
okay.
Going to place the TC wagon on the coast there. Organ guns setting up to volley. But,
ooh, baby.
yeah,
Gonna
get some good volleys on there. Oh, my goodness. 26 rat and shield coming in. And they have Shaolin discipline training on them as well.
Push in.
So
yeah,
these, for those wondering, these are like coyote runners. They're essentially cavalry.
So, okay, I think from here, the game's going to take the turn into Mitoe destroying the home base of Wickedcossack, while Cossack kind of tries to mass up H4 units, maybe H4 goons. Oh, boy.
2 heavy cannons coming in from Wickedcossack. And this is exactly what he needs to start reclaiming some of that land. The engineer for 2 organ guns and 2 heavy cannons really complements the dragoons very, very well. And this is a big power spike that you get from being a European nation. The 2 heavy cannons are exceptional. But Mitoe not going to let him get a volley.
Okay, so 2 flying crows comes in from Mitoe. They are really, really strong.
Yeah, and they're usually, because they shadow tech, right? They get more attack and hit points for free as you age up, so you don't even have to research upgrades for them. They just automatically get them. So this is, do you want to compare them to heavy cannons? They're perhaps not as that good.
I was looking at the stats the other day, actually. I think heavy cannons do better versus infantry, but I think flying crows are off from being heavy cannons, and having that. Having the infinite shipment really is nice.
2 flying
crows.
crows.
Whenever I play versus them, they just seem like ridiculous.
It's like having 2 heavy cannons infinitely. No wonder China's so strong in the industrial age. But those heavy cannons looking to get back. Those rat and shields could tear them apart if they're not protected well. And Dragoon's not very good at protecting things from hand combat.
Boy.
But setting up big volley on the arquebusier, setting up the flying crows here. Flying crows, they do half damage versus the dragoons there. 1 cannon goes down, that's what they were targeting. Second organ gunner looks like does take out the heavy cannons, neutralized, and still has his flying crows in the back.
Smashing.
This is a great fight for Mitoe.
Yeah. Repelling volley was huge in this fight too.
And it's ×3 versus light. Oh no, that's just the default multiplier versus.
Goons.
Yeah. But big 5 hussars pop. There are a couple of Changdao next to them, but I think that'll be enough to kill the 2 flying crows. Looks like he's certainly going to get 1. Does not get the second one, but that's going to be 4 HP there, very, very low. Factory very kind of exposed on the coast, although if they do start sieging it, there's 2 frigates to defend the factory there. Looks like Cossack has lost his inland base. He's sort of stuck on the coast now.
And that factory will go down unless there's some culverins coming out, but
oh my god,
that's going to be
4 HP flying crow going to destroy a factory.
Well, there are 2 more coming, so
that's so strong.
The mortar attack.
Oh,
mortar. The monitor, I'm sorry.
Ah, nice. That's good, but now he hasn't got that special ability to deal with these 2. If he had that still, right, he could kill both of those in almost a single hit. But he's used his monitor ability. If only he'd killed that other flying crow with 4 HP. But the factory is going to live. He doesn't want to get closer just yet. A second monitor, perhaps? Oh. The special ability is not going to be available for a while. Yeah, just needs to clean that factory up. Units coming in. The boat's getting eager to do some damage here. And that factory, 285 times 2 versus buildings. The factory is surely toast. And that's a big deal. 2 more flying crows. All of this XP Mitoe's getting from these fights is just supplying more and more shipments. He's already got another shipment available, stacked up. And just units streaming across the map. The power of the Chinese fast industrial.
You look at the eco pop, and Mitoe's actually ahead now.
Yeah, well, he's killed a factory, which is like 10 vills. And...
yeah.
$5.57 coming in from Alter Harry. Hype, he says. Absolutely. But this may be over for Wicked Cossack. 5
Or Flying
Hussars.
Crow.
The Hussars try. They want to come in and deal with those Flying Crows, but he just can't get them sort of close enough. Gonna garrison in the monitor. But the special ability's back in. He used it to destroy...
Oh, here's another one.
Second monitor. But it missed. Did he click the wrong unit?
I think that was the regular attack.
Regular monitor attack, right.
The...
Lots of Castadors, though, but they are only veteran up against Guard or Honored with Repelling Volley and Western Reforms for +8 attack, 8 hit points, 8% hit points.
Okay.
And look at this, he's found all the villagers on the coin mine in the top with his Rat and Shield.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
And those Flying Crows... Flying Crows are so good against Castador with their 50% ranged resist that gets completely negated because they do range damage, they do siege damage. And so low hit points on the Castador. And now Mitoe even getting in Stagecoach. Now that he's destroyed the initial starting town center, he can build on top of these, on top of the route.
I think the lack of walls for Wicked Cossack hurt him the most in this game.
What an exceptional game and series, though. The Mamelukes do come in to try and kill a Flying Crow. They're so hard to deal with. That's the advantage of the monitor, right? They're able to handle these Flying Crows. But having lost all those villagers on the mine at the top, and the sea is starting to run dry of fish, it's very, very tough for Wicked Cossack.
How many? He has 14 actual villagers, 24 fishing boats. Pretty sure that. And there's going to be more going down up here.
Factory Fort Wagon from Cossack. It's on the coast here. It's now inside. He's
shipping it over.
The Fort Wagon is now inside Santo Antonio, pardon me. Yeah, it looks like that's where he's going. Secure some like map land presence. There's some hunts here, but the thing is, he's got a saloon. Inside it, there are Swiss pikemen and Jaegers.
I think we're getting to the point where this is potentially going to turn into a classic quick search game, where you get one of those guys that play for like an hour on water maps and get offshore support and try to abuse the whale income.
And absolutely, this should be the case because it's a tournament game and the winner qualifies, right? So Cossack going to do everything in his power to stay in this, even if it might look very dire for him at the moment. You can't just give up until you're absolutely out. And Cossack, it does look very tough, but China could have a hard time pushing into the sea here. Boats are very hard to deal with, and he's not going to be able to get any water presence of his own just because it's going to be so hard to get a dock up. So he's going to have to fight the water purely from land.
I think we're... actually, trade monopoly might be an option, but I think there's 2 trade posts that are within monitor range, so that actually might not even be an option.
That's true.
Mitoe.
Yeah, and you have to control perhaps the native villages as well, which are both controllable by the water. Yeah. So trade monopoly could be troublesome for him to keep up with there as well. I mean, Wicked Cossack, he is quite a number of points down. Petard's coming in though from the consulate, I assume. Well, that's the only way to get them. So yes, are going to take out the fort. And without that, and there's the GG. It looks like Mitoe will be the very first person to qualify for the Escape New World Championships. He will be among the top 8 qualifying and making it through the upper bracket. There are 3 more spots in the upper bracket and 4 spots in the lower bracket to qualify for this tournament. Mitoe scoring 4 wins and his opponent 3. An exceptionally close series. Exactly what we wanted to see, and we perhaps almost expected to see, given that it is a qualification event and the caliber of these 2 players. But you were worried about Mitoe, but the land army were able to pull it through.
Yeah, I think the 2 things that were a little bit questionable for me on Wicked Cossack's side was, and it might look okay now because there's mostly just whales left, but I think he could have really just spammed out a bunch of fishing boats earlier to get like a quicker income of food. and coin, but also like not having walls really kind of made this difficult to hold. If there were a bunch of walls and upgraded walls, it would have been hard for Mitoe to push in, I think.
Hot damn.
But,
I'm gonna see if Mitoe will come on for a quick interview. So let's throw up the overlay, and I'll see if I can get him into the call. Right. All right, hello everybody, and yes, welcome back to the lounge area. So I am joined by Mitoe, and he and I will be casting the next series coming up, which is Kanisi versus Kaiser Klein. Should be a good series, I'm looking forward to that. But before we do, gonna have a quick chat with Mitoe about his performance yesterday. He did qualify for the LAN event. You're coming to the UK.
Indeed.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, that's my first question. Are you looking forward to it? Because I've got a few questions here prepared, and I just want to get inside your mind, because that really was quite a close series. It was, I believe, you took the first game, and then he took the second, and then you the third, and then he the fourth, and so on and so forth, until it came down to that 3-3 finish. It was really quite intense, so I wanted to ask you about it. But yeah, how do you feel about qualifying?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I feel like anyone who's ever tried to be the best they can be in a game has wondered what it would be like to go to a tournament in person and compete against others who feel the same way. And to be able to accomplish that for what is likely the biggest AoE3 event since 2008 feels pretty good for sure.
Yeah, the first LAN tournament in I think 11 years now. I didn't honestly think we'd see something like this, at least for Age of Empires 3. But we're able to make it happen, and I'm pleased that you're going to be there as a player, and hopefully we'll have you casting as well. But, you know, we're flying you to the UK. We're going to put you up in a hotel as you have kind of qualified. You got any other plans in the UK or Europe? I know SoldieR's, if he qualifies, I know he's got some plans. Are you going to be sticking around for a bit longer whilst you're here?
Yeah, actually, after the event, my dad and I are planning on touring around England for a couple of weeks. Although what we're going to be doing exactly is a bit uncertain at this time.
Yeah, I think I remember you asking me, hey, what's interesting to do as a tourist? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, you've been not very helpful in that regard.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, right? Like, I don't think about what you do in the UK as a tourist. But yeah, I'm pleased that you've got other things you'll be doing. It's good to bring you here and to sort of enable you and your dad to do that. But okay, here's a few sort of very general questions before we get into like the main meat of it. I think I wanted to ask you: do you have a favorite civilization, or what is the most civ? Pardon me, what is the civ you've played the most? If you don't have a favorite.
Okay, this is a bit of a hard question. I guess my favorite civ has changed a little bit over the years, like more than once. But I think it's safe to say that my favorite civ of all time is Germany, just because they're the civ that I played almost exclusively for the first couple of years that I played AoE3. There's a lot of nostalgia there, and also just they're the one that I feel the strongest with, and they're for sure the civ that I've played the most out of any others, and the civ that I'm most comfortable using. That being said, though, at different times, some of my other favorite civs have included like Dutch, Japan, India, or like more recently, like China.
Yeah, I was saying a lot on the stream yesterday that your strongest civ was China. I don't know if that's, well, I think it's true, and it looks like it's true. You perform very well with China. You've been playing it a lot recently. But no, that's interesting to hear. And they're all civs that you sort of play a lot, actually. The ones you mentioned, those seem to be the ones you're most comfortable with and that you sort of go to during tournament matches. Is that true?
More or less, some more than others. Like Japan or Dutch, for example, I feel like are a lot more situational. China as well is a little bit situational. But for the most part, if I understand the matchup that I'm going to be picking them into, I'll pick them almost without hesitation, usually.
Okay, so I think this is a similar vein to the question I just asked you. I wanted to talk about the vetoes yesterday. So you vetoed New England. Of course, there's 9 maps. You didn't want to play on that. And Cossack vetoed Fertile Crescent. I was trying to combine the two words there. I was wanted to ask you a bit about how come you vetoed New England. Is there any sort of thought process there? And how come you think Cossack vetoed Fertile Crescent?
So I vetoed New England just because the map is very unique and you have to play very differently on it, and I'd like to be more prepared when I do play on it. Like at the moment in time that I vetoed that, the other players that I was practicing with mostly wanted to avoid New England. They were going to veto it themselves. And so it just felt like it made sense for me to do the same. Rest assured, though, when I play at the LAN, I'll definitely have something prepared.
I see.
As for why Wicked Cossack vetoed Fertile Crescent, I guess it's just because he either doesn't like the map or feels it doesn't really fit his playstyle super well.
Yeah. It seemed like he had other builds prepared, actually. It seemed like, just generally speaking, Wicked Cossack was really quite well prepared for the series. It seemed that he sort of had builds in mind, and he seemed really, really on form. Were you surprised at his performance? Were you expecting it to be a sort of easier series?
Yeah, I actually was definitely surprised. No offense to Wicked Cossack, but I honestly expected the series to be a little bit easier for me, and I greatly underestimated him. And so as a result, my preparation wasn't really there. Like, I played a few China versus Portuguese games with a friend, but really not all that many, and wasn't really like analyzing the matchup all that much, and I mostly was just playing for the sake of playing the last week here, than truly preparing something specific for him, and it kind of bit me in the butt a little bit.
Yeah, he did really, really well. I think your style of preparation is just generally playing a lot of games and just being sort of well practiced. Something I wanted to talk about is Wicked Cossack, that Baja, California game. That was, I think, the first thing that really stood out to everyone, that actually Wicked Cossack was prepared. I noticed in the game you were sort of searching for his wonder, but you couldn't find the wonder. Did you think you were being rushed? Because there was no wonder in his base, so you must have thought it was out on the map somewhere. What was going through your mind when it was like 7 minutes and he aged up or something like that?
Yeah, that Baja game. Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking for his wonder, like even in the nooks and crannies, like behind my base, just in case there was like somehow a proxy Agra or something funky going on. And after I scouted all those areas, checked his deck, found the dock at his base, and him not being H2 at 5 minutes, and I knew that he must be going for some kind of crazy water boom. But sadly, like, I was already kind of committed to the slower, fast fortress build, and there's no room really to adapt my build at that point. So I think it was a really well thought out decision from him to go for this kind of really greedy build.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I was definitely surprised.
It was quite greedy. Did you scout the dock wagon? I think your monk walked past it, but I don't know if you actually sort of saw it there.
No, I didn't see it. And later I saw a dock at his base, and I assumed that was the one dock rickshaw that he must have sent. Sadly, if I'd spotted the other dock rickshaw, I would have clued in a lot earlier to what was going on, but I didn't. So
yeah, because he sent 3 Age 1 cards. It was spectacular before it even sort of aged up. But later on in that game, he sort of committed quite hard to elephants. Did that catch you off guard? And you know, you lost that matchup in the end. Would you have played it differently at all, you know, with the knowledge you have now?
Yeah, I definitely forgot that elephants were an option, and I didn't pay close enough attention to his Fortress Age cards to realize it was an option. But he revealed it pretty early when he came to contest the trading post on the south side of the map, so it didn't really affect me too much in that sense, because this is normally something that I feel China can deal with quite easily if they know what's happening. I know this from experience, having helped H2O develop this style of play against China, but I underestimated just how much better it is when India gets away with going full greed on water for the first 8 minutes of the game. Yeah. And as a result, I was a little bit too aggressive in early industrial. I didn't scout very well and just kind of assumed he was also going industrial instead of continuing to make more elephants. And it cost me big time. And if I were to play the matchup again, I think I would be a little bit more patient with my army and just wait until I have a larger mass of units, because elephants are pretty inefficient in terms of population. So the larger the armies get, sort of the better it is for me, I think.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I would also probably contest water more heavily, because what I did in that game was just not enough against his extremely greedy build.
Yeah, just 2 war junks. and it looked like he sort of won the Caravel War, and you chased it down the map, but didn't sort of actually end up killing it in the end, and he did get away with a really, really big boom, that's for sure. Yeah, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. China actually have, what, 220 population in the late game, and if you'd able to sort of mass up like that, it may have been a lot more effective. Anyway, let's talk about the next map. On Deccan, all right, there were a couple of things. The first thing I want to mention is that you had a low HP Yumi Archer that was about sort of less than half health, positioned outside of your base, and that saw quite a lot of things in that game sort of approaching. You put that there deliberately, I'm sure, but what was your thinking when you saw Wicked Cossacks, like really quite large army approaching? I saw you build a wall there, and also, what was your reaction to all those hussars getting stuck in that gap between your two barracks?
Yeah, well, I scouted the stable earlier with one of my monks, so I knew there was some kind of Hussar switch coming. I definitely didn't expect as many as there were, but I didn't see any Hussars, so I wasn't sure if he was actually making Hussars or if he was like aging at that point in time. So I sent the Yumi out just to see like if I could find out exactly what he was up to and if I should be pushing out at this time. And thankfully it did spot like 30 or 20, a lot of Hussars at any rate. And I was able to complete the wall as a result. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't super worried when I saw it, just because I feel like if he's staying colonial for so long, it's going to be better for me in the long run, just because I have more relevant upgrades. And I did finish the wall, and that I left that sort of small choke point in my Raxes, just because I know from experience that pushing through there would be pretty difficult, and it didn't feel like it was necessary to wall it, and I felt like if he did go through it, it would probably be pretty easy for me to defend with Minutemen and everything. And unfortunately for him, it did, and he did end up getting stuck.
Yeah.
I think he could have fixed it if he'd been more on top of like moving his units sort of like individually and stuff like that. But unfortunately for him, like in that type of situation, like where you're really trying to get stuff done fast, you don't always do the best possible thing at that point in time, and it ended up going pretty badly for him.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm glad that he didn't just like back off, because if he just backed off and aged behind it, I think that could have complicated the game a lot for me.
Yeah, that was definitely a good moment to see. I think Cossack probably regretting going through that small passage. But yeah, that was on Deccan. Next map was Thar Desert, and you picked Russia on that map against the Dutch. Well,
yeah. Well, I first picked, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'd seen that he had used India already, so you knew India wouldn't be available, and maybe that's why you picked Russia. But yeah, talk us through your decision to play as Russia on Thar Desert.
Russia, well, it's kind of been flavor of the month recently, with mixed success, I feel, for most people. And I kind of picked it just because it's sort of the meta thing to do on that type of map at the moment, and I was kind of hoping it would throw him off guard because he didn't have India up. But in hindsight, I probably should have picked something I'm more comfortable with, like India, maybe.
I see. Yeah, you did have that available. Okay, so something that, I mean, regardless of what you should have picked or how you feel about it now, that game was actually very, very close, and it seemed a couple of moments that he wasn't going to be able to get up with it in the way that he did, and it felt like you did actually do quite a lot of damage. But one particular point in that game, it felt like once he was up, you committed quite a lot of your Cossacks and Musketeers to sieging down a stable, and you ended up losing, several Cossacks. And whilst the Cossacks were sieging, your Musketeers decided to fight the Reuters, and they also got killed, and basically traded off a bunch of units for a stable. Was that, how come you thought that stable was so important? Would you still have done that? What was going on there?
Right. So I didn't actually notice that he'd aged up. I just kind of made the assumption that maybe he'd invested a lot into his banks, and that's why his mass was suffering a little bit. And I thought Hussars must be coming from the stable in that case. So I figured I'd just surround it, catch any Hussars that pop out, kill the stable, and then he's in a rough spot from there. But one of the Reuters popped out. Needless to say, I was pretty surprised and sad. And yeah, I think I would have definitely played it differently had I realized that he was aging. I would have maybe killed the barracks in his army, then backed off, or looked for maybe some hidden villagers or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, no, I just didn't see the age up, and so he was just up a lot sooner than I expected and caught me off guard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the way you play that differently, you're saying, is you would notice that he aged up. That's quite an important part of that, I suppose.
Yeah, it would have helped me not throw away so many units, for sure.
Yeah, whoopsie. Okay, so the next thing I want to mention, and I don't know if you watched the stream back, but on Pampas Sierras, I noticed Wickedcossack, he picks British when he doesn't necessarily have to pick first because it wasn't his counter pick. But it seems like because he did that, he sort of mind-gamed you into a poor matchup. Do you regret playing the Dutch on Pampas Sierras there, knowing that he'd already picked British? Do you think there was any mind games? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure that he was mind gaming me. He might have been. But I don't really regret picking Dutch. There were a couple of civs I was thinking about, and I was basically thinking about either India, Dutch, Russia, or Aztec, and I just don't really feel that Russia or Aztec are particularly strong in general, and so like on top of that, having lost that earlier game on Thar Desert, I just felt like I shouldn't be playing something I'm not as familiar with, and so even though he'd selected Brit, and that's kind of a not so great matchup for Dutch, I was thinking like, okay, I can pick Dutch because I'm more comfortable with it, and I feel like I might be able to like outplay him or something. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case, but I feel like that was probably the correct thing to do at that point in time.
All right. I think we're going to leave it there, actually. But don't go anywhere, guys, because coming up next, me and Mitoe will be casting Kaiserklein versus Kanisi. That's coming up next. Really nice to get your thoughts there, Mitoe, and I'll speak to you in a moment. But what we're going to do, the stream's now going to end, and in 2 minutes' time it will come back up because we're going to add some delay because this is a competitive tournament series. The winner of this series will qualify for the LAN tournament here in the studio in July, and we'll fly them out, expenses paid, to compete here against also Mitoe, who has qualified. So that series coming right up, but first, 2 minutes of delay must be set. So the stream will go offline for 2 minutes, and then it will come back up. We'll see you in a moment.